thrilling race yesterday, welcome back to the Jeddah Corniche circuit for round 4 of the 11th season of ABB FIA Formula E 2025. Using the Formula 1 layout, turn 1 and 2 is a natural overtaking opportunity, but then in turn 3 we zoom back round on a hairpin for 4, and then back down to 5, 6, 7, sweeping before we get to our first chicane at turn 8, an inside opportunity to flick the car in and really get some power down. Then through a Spas, Francashore style bus stop chicane at turn 11, kink at 12 before then into the long turn 13 hairpin, which is going to be our first attack mode opportunity at this circuit. 2 chicanes on the back straight as well make up 19 turns here at the shortest of the Jeddah Corniche circuit layouts. After yesterday's race then, this is how the calendar shapes up. We've got a race here in Jeddah before a month's break and Miami in April. Double headers in May in Monaco and Tokyo, and then we ended in Shanghai with another double. Jakarta is our only other single race in that string before double in Berlin, and London rounds out the season. 16 rounds as well. It ends on the 27th of July. Evans won in Sao Paulo, Roland in Mexico, and yesterday Maximilian Gunther took victory. We really are in a string of interestingly good races so far. And this means the Drivers' Championship looks like this. Oliver Rowland now on 43 points with second place yesterday. Antonio Feliz Costa remains on 37, being caught up now by Maximilian Gunther. Then Taylor Barnard is on the precipice of her first pole and win. He's on the 30 points. Mitch Evans on 25, from Nick de Vries 24 as well. It's closing up in the championship runs.
Welcome to the post-race press conference here following round 3 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please welcome on the stage from right to left, third place driver Taylor Barnard with Neil McLaren, second and new championship leader on the left, Nissan's Oliver Rowland, and our race winner this evening, DS Penske's Maximilian Gunther. A first race win for your new team. Can you put into words your emotions right now?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. First win with DS Penske. I think we've had a very good start to the season. Actually always performing well on the first 3 weekends now. Unlucky in Sao Paulo, solid last time out in Mexico, and yeah, obviously here, perfect day with pole, fastest lap and the race win. So extremely happy, extremely proud. Yeah, I mean, race was actually really difficult. I think Ollie did an amazing job until the end, you know, defending so well. And yeah, we just stayed patient and we had more energy at the end, so I was able to get him, but it was hard work. I mean, I was exiting P8 after the pit stop, so yeah, for a moment I wasn't too sure if that's all going all right.
Just talk us through that last lap. Did you know that there was a good chance you could do it, because it was a great battle between you two?
I mean, to be fair, he was defending so well that it was just about if he gets the cut or not for the last corner, because he did everything right, make himself very wide. But yeah, obviously I knew if he has to lift early, then I've got a chance, and I took it at the end. So yeah, mega happy.
Once you gave up the lead, how concerned were you that after the pit boost cycles had ended, that you'd ended up 8th? And were you concerned that maybe you wouldn't be getting back up there to the lead?
For sure, I wasn't amused, but I still knew I've got 2 attack modes remaining, and I knew a few cars were pushing a lot or took attack mode. And yeah, at the end we just did our race, and I saw it's possible to recover pretty well. At the end I was thinking, okay, podium is realistic today, but then yeah, I saw I'm able to close a lot the gap to Ollie, and I tried it until the end, so it was good.
And finally, same again tomorrow?
No. Look, I'm really happy about today. If you want to win a race in Formula E, really all the stars have to be aligned. I think this was the case today. Tomorrow everybody's starting from zero. The competition here is so incredibly tight. And yeah, you know, you always have to stay with both feet on the ground, and we do our homework tomorrow. I like the track, so far it's going well, and yeah, I give my very best tomorrow again.
Congratulations again, a 6th race win in Formula E and the first race win for you for DS Penske. Ollie, we'll move on to you. Obviously, mentioned there a great battle with Maximilian. How do you feel after that last lap? Because, you know, you've scored more points again, you're leading the championship now, but it must be bittersweet because you were so close to a victory.
Yeah, of course, whenever you lose the victory in the last corner, it's a bit disappointing, but I think I'm pretty happy. You know, the car was good, we stuck to our strategy. I think it was a great race. As a spectacle, it was able to push quite hard. Had to be almost inch perfect every lap, and it came down to half a second. You know, we were first and second after the first lap, and the gap in the start was half a second. So, of course, it was a bit disappointing. I'm a little bit frustrated that I didn't know how much of a buffer he had as he was coming back through, because I could have probably kept my target high enough to defend a bit better, let's say. But I was actually trying to keep the gap at some point, and that hurt me a little bit at the end. But no, look, we did a great job. I think qualifying we were extremely strong. Enjoying driving the car on this track, and just looking forward to tomorrow, really.
You left your pit boost quite late in the race. How close was that to the original plan? Were there any changes made after you saw other drivers go a little bit earlier?
No, I wasn't actually aware who took the pit stop when. I saw a few come in on the first lap, but I had a bit of a gap, so I really wasn't aware. But we planned to do exactly what we did, and we executed the plan. I think it was a way to stay quite safe and conservative in the first one, to stay a little bit out of the mess. It probably didn't go quite as we planned. We expected that a lot of people would do what we did, but it didn't seem that they did. But, you know, look, it was I think we did everything right. I mean, we just lacked 500ths of energy in the last corner, and that's it.
At least it wasn't a repeat of Misano, of course.
That's very true.
Yeah. Obviously, tomorrow, same amount of laps, but no pit boost. What kind of style of race are you expecting?
Completely different. I think we'll get a race like Portland, Misano, high energy saving races where it's going to be a bit of a mess in the beginning. Qualifying will probably be less important, but yeah, we'll see what people prefer, whether these types of races or I expect tomorrow to be much more chaotic and people winning from 15th possibly. So yeah, qualifying will be a bit less important.
Okay, congratulations again. We look forward to it. And Taylor Barnard, once again here on the podium, a second podium this season, but you really had to fight for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I made a mistake by letting Nick past on like lap 10 or so. And then Jake got past as well, which hindered my race a little bit. But of course, I had to fight for that. I had to fight them both hard to get past. And yeah, in the end, happy to get my second podium.
How aware were you that that was basically your last chance to get past Nick before your attack mode ran out? That you really left it till the last possible moment there to get that place?
I mean, I overconsumed to try and catch him. And I saw the timer on my steering wheel, and I knew I had only 15 seconds left. So I had one chance. So I made it very aggressive, and of course it came out, but yeah, it was very close. It was a good fight. We
said this before the race, obviously, you're still battling with former champions and still holding your own, which super impressive in your first full season as a driver. What do you think would have been possible had you not been stuck behind the Maserati for so long?
Look, with how close I was on the last couple of laps, for sure a win was possible, but like Max said, Ollie was defending very well, and when you're the third guy, to try and make some kind of move on P2 is very difficult, especially around here, so it's all if, buts and maybes. But I think anyway, we did a good race as a team, and we're looking forward to tomorrow.
And finally, in contrast to Ollie, you were one of the drivers that took pit boost early. Was that always going to be the plan, and do you feel that you basically got it as best you could?
Yeah, I think it was part of the plan from the beginning. I think we executed everything very well. I lost a bit of time, but I don't know if that's because I entered behind the Maserati and I lost a little bit of time behind him. But yeah, I mean, I still need to analyse the race and everything properly. But to get the first one out of the way, I'm very happy.
Well, congratulations on another podium. Time for some questions from the journalists here in the room. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. Okay, we'll go gentleman at the front first.
Hello, guys. Congratulations on the podium. What a show you guys have put on. A huge round of applause for these legends here, everyone. My question is directed to Oliver. In the final moments of the race, Gunther overtook you. Can you tell us what exactly happened in the last moments?
Yeah, I was struggling for energy, and basically we have like a point in which we we have to lift in the last corner, otherwise we won't make it to the line. And I had to lift, and I was hoping that he did too, but he didn't. So yeah, he had enough energy to get around the outside and get to the apex.
Thank you very much for your question. We'll go to Jack at the front here next.
Jack Smith, Motorsport Week. Max, Phil Charles calls you the professor, and you certainly lived up to that today. But given how quick your car was all day, is that showing that Phil Charles factor is kind of showing to bear fruit now at DS Penske?
Look, I'm really, really happy in my new team. I think Jay and Phil, they've put an incredible group of people together. Yeah, so far, I think the last few, or my first few months of the team, I've been enjoying massively. There is so much quality in this team. Phil is amazing, yeah, it's just such a cool group to work with. I really enjoy every second of it, and amazing that so early already we can get such a big race and a win, yeah, it's a real pleasure to work with Phil.
Thank you very much. Any more questions in the room? We'll go here and then afterwards, okay.
Question for all guys. What are you thinking at 30 seconds and pit boost?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'd actually had a huge lockup on the entry to the pits, and my tyre was quite flat spotted, so as I was sat there, I was kind of cursing at myself a bit. I wouldn't say what I was kind of saying to myself, but I was a bit annoyed at myself. And I don't know for you guys, it seemed to last a long time.
I mean, if you talk a bit on the radio, it's actually...
You were talking?
I was talking on the radio, so it was quite quick, actually.
I'm banned from that.
Yeah, I was talking on the radio with my engineer and also hoping to get in front of the Maserati behind me. Unfortunately, I didn't, but it doesn't feel too long when you're talking on the radio.
Thank you very much. It worked out in the end for you, at least. And one more here. Do we have the mic? Yeah.
Rohan Hamdan from Asharq Al-Awsat newspaper, the Middle East. First of all, I congratulate all of you. You all made a great race, really. And especially you, Roland, like you made a great race. You almost be in the B1 the whole race. And then in the last corner, Maximilian could pass you and take the overtake in a great way. And also Bernard, like the rookie, and going to Podium in Jeddah as the new McLaren team. So proud. And I want to know, how was the pit boost here in Jeddah? Yesterday, you all said, we don't know, let's see the race. And how was the Jeddah circuit, Corniche circuit for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's really cool to have these kind of different races, because the dynamic, as Ollie was mentioning, is very different. You know, tomorrow we will see a very different kind of racing, and it just shows as well, you know, Formula E's progress in terms of technology. You know, that in 30 seconds you can charge the car 10%, which is actually incredible, and this under competitive conditions is cool. It brings another element of excitement for the fans, for us in the car, for the engineers and the teams in the garage, and yeah, I really think it's a great addition to the championship.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's the first step towards the future a little bit. I think, first of all, let's get it working, and today was quite a clean race, which I think helped the spectacle. I think we're going to have a few hiccups along the way when full course yellows and safety cars come out, but I think in the future, if we can use it to strategically have maybe more or less energy, depending on how long you stop, it could be quite interesting, also from the outside. But also, you mentioned the track. I don't know about these two guys, but I wasn't a huge fan when I arrived from the layout, but actually it was pretty cool to drive in qualifying. You felt like you could use a lot of grip, and the car started to feel like a proper race car with four-wheel drive and a lot of grip. It was honestly really enjoyable, particularly in qualifying.
I don't know how to finish it. The guys have already said everything. I'll talk more about the Jeddah circuit. Coming kind of like same as Ollie, coming here, I'm not sure how much everyone enjoyed it on the simulator, but actually at the track, I think it was a very good race. Pushing the car in qualifying in the duels was extremely cool with all-wheel drive and such a high grip. Also a fast circuit, I think it was very enjoyable. obviously it's a double header, so tomorrow's race will look completely different, and I'm sure it'll be another great race.
Thank you very much for your questions. One final, very quick one from me. It's not every day you get to watch Akon. Will you be celebrating your podium by going and watching Akon on the main stage before a good sleep tonight?
Maybe.
When is the concert?
Probably.
It's already on?
Possibly, yeah.
Sounds
Try
like
to
it's
debrief
already
fast.
on.
I'm gonna
I heard
guess.
Sailor can sing some of his songs.
I wouldn't try. I'm gonna guess that's a no. Thank you very much. The drivers will all be available downstairs shortly, and my friend here is just gonna say a few words.
لكل المقابلات بمنطقة الإعلام على أول بادوك لو سمحتوا.
Welcome to Saudi Arabia for the Formula E Jeddah EPrix. Round 4 of the championship. We're all set to get going. Let's head down to the grid and join Karun Chanok with David Coulthard, who's with Taylor Barnard on pole position.
Job in qualifying. I was just saying, you seem completely relaxed and unfazed by it. Is that how you feel on the inside?
Right now, yes. In 10 minutes, probably not. I mean, to be honest, usually at this point as a racing driver, you're stressing about clutch control or something like that to try and get a perfect launch. Thankfully, the way that we've done it is quite simple in these cars, so I'm not so worried about that. For sure, it's going to be a peloton-style race, so I'm trying to stay out of trouble for the first 3 laps, and from then on, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, Poleman managed to launch very comfortably yesterday, so no concern with this side of the grid. Thereafter, managing, as you say, the pace, is that one of the biggest challenges for a young racer that you've just been used to? Every lap has to be an attack lap.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I've been used to. But I think since I've been in Formula E, I've done more peloton-style races than I have actually normal races. So I do feel a little bit more comfortable coming into this race than I did yesterday. For sure, leading is not the optimal position to be on the first 5 laps, but at least I'm out of the chaos. I can keep it clean, and yeah, like I said, after the first 5 laps, you have no idea what's going to happen.
For people who weren't with us for the qualifying show, they may not know, but Oliver Rowland used to be your driver coach. You raced for his karting team. Have you guys had a bit of a chat coming into the race about how you could just look after each other and try and work together, because you're both in that sort of Nissan stable as well?
I mean, we had a chat yesterday before the race, not before today, but I think it's pretty clear we both have the same mindset that we need to try and help each other for our own benefit, and of course there won't be anything silly. We want points for both of our teams and obviously ourselves, so I don't think there'll be anything silly going on.
All right, listen, good luck for the race.
Good luck.
Should we see...
Cool cat, isn't he?
Well, Oliver Rowland's just come up onto the grid, so we could go and
Should we go and see if we can grab a quick word?
Go on, DC,
When
we'll
he
try
takes
and
his-
have a word.
Yeah. Oliver, when you've had a chance to take a breath. Yeah, top man. Sorry, getting as your helmet's off, you're straight with a mic in your face. But we've just spoken to your young protege, pole sitter. This is a race where experience and really playing the longer game is something that's what you've got. That's what's been one of the hallmarks of your career. He's still carving his way. What can we expect?
Well, look, a completely different race to yesterday. I think he's inexperienced, but he's also pretty clever. So I think he'll have watched from his first 3 races in Formula E and learned quite quickly from them. So I expect him to be pretty experienced. But I think as 2 Nissan powertrain cars, we need to kind of be clever and try and use each other as much as we can to benefit our own performance at the end of the day. So hopefully we can do that. Yeah, with these races, you plan so much, but the one like today, you have to react in the moment.
You came within about 300 meters of winning yesterday, and it seemed like the team and you know, could have been a better communication pattern there, just in terms of using energy. Have you guys talked about it? Is there a different way you need to approach today in that?
It's quite clear. I think, honestly, yesterday, sometimes I can be quite fiery, and it's a new relationship. I have a new engineer this year. He sometimes tries to make me feel good about myself, whereas I need the truth. And we spoke about it last night. Said, look, if something's not in our favor, I need to know earlier rather than later to react to it. So we've had that conversation. I should get all the right information today, and we should be okay.
All right, listen, good luck for today.
Good luck, thank you. Right, we've got the pipe band chasing us down there, Karun, as well.
The drivers seem to be wandering up to the front of the grid.
Should we see if we can get a quick walk and talk with Jake? Can we do a walk and talk?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How fast do you like to walk?
Slow. Not like on track, hopefully.
Well, Liz told us it was banana power that helped you in qualifying. Was that? Have you had enough before the race?
I mean, I had enough. The banana early was enough for the whole day, let's be honest. So.
Okay, listen, yesterday we saw you were quick, you were in that lead pack, but you were down on energy. We heard you quite early in the race on the radio saying you can't keep this pace up and hit target. Has anything changed for today that gives you a bit more optimism to be able to be on target and pace?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the race today is going to be completely different to the race yesterday. You're stating the obvious. I think even if we did the same race yesterday again, we would already be in a better standing, to be honest. We learned a lot of lessons from yesterday. We overspent in one key part of the race, which we thought would pay dividends, but it turns out, first pit boost race in history, we probably learned the lesson that it didn't, and that doesn't apply today.
So get focused, clean start, and then watch these two guys push the air. You save your energy and then plan your attack.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to have like a more stereotypical pack kind of race today. So pushing the air is a complete no-go. So yeah, we're going to try and save some energy at the start.
Okay, you better run now.
I think all the drivers are making their way there for a team
yeah, I see
driver
Chris
picture.
Eubank here.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Chris
can we
Eubank,
jump in?
nice to see you.
Hi. Nice to see you. I'm David.
Nice to see you here. Are you enjoying the Formula E experience?
It's beautiful, beautiful weather, amazing cars. It's my first time at a Formula E event, and what a great event to start my my first experience at.
You've got a big fight coming up, of course, haven't you, in a couple of months' time at Conor Ben?
April 26th.
Not long. I guess I should have known, but you just about broke my hand there when you shook it, by the way. Loved the little opener you did for us. Sort of chucking the table as you ended that.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying stepping into the world of other athletes?
Listen. I mean, I have a fast car myself, but you know, the G-force and the fitness you actually have to be able to drive these cars. It's not a joke, you know. These guys have to be in peak physical condition to be able to maneuver the way they do. I want to drive one of these cars, man. I want to drive one of these cars at some point. If it's possible, bring me back out here. Not obviously competitively, but just to experience that, you know. And the noise as well is incredible. The acceleration I love it.
Listen, David's a very powerful man. I'm sure he can organise that test for you. Good luck for the fight coming up.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
He's got a hearty handshake.
Yes, I think the drivers have all gone off. So I think what we'll do now is Lola have come back into motorsport for the first time in a very long time, partner with Yamaha, another big brand. And let's hear a little bit more about their journey back into motorsport with Formula E.
We're focused on wanting to be a leader in sustainable motorsport. We're focusing on electrification, hydrogen, sustainable fuels and materials, so kind of all forms of sustainable solutions in the world of motorsport. And Formula E is the obvious one when it comes to electrification. It's a great championship.
Getting back in Formula E and to come to work with Till and all the guys has been an amazing opportunity. I think we're quite lucky to work with such a talented group of people, working with Yamaha, working with great partners, obviously working with ABB on the racing side, and I think being the most prepared we possibly could be. We all know it's an uphill battle getting into a new racing series, but it'll be a fun one, and I think we'll be always progressing during the first year.
Lucas Di Grassi is the Formula E champion!
It's really the perfect balance to have someone with so much experience as Lucas. Obviously, having been in the series since the beginning, he's one of the most experienced drivers on the grid.
11 years racing here in Formula E, and the car is just getting better, so it gets me more excited every time. And I'm very excited to be with ABB, which I've raced many, many years, and now with Lola Yamaha doing the powertrain and operating the team too.
Obviously, to grab Zane out of F2 is pretty exciting. Zane's a bit of a natural, having grown up around a racetrack all his life, I think, in Barbados.
Feels amazing, of course, coming from Barbados. I'm the only one to get to this level, so it's, of course, a privilege and an honor to be representing the flag. Of course, it's a big step in my career, and I'm looking forward to it.
Zane is extremely fast. He won races in Formula 2. He was leading the championship at mid-season. He's young, but he's experienced, and he has the talent. He has the raw speed. Of course, Formula E, you need the raw speed, but also you need the understanding how the race works. The combination of an experienced driver and a rookie fits well.
Working with Lucas has been great so far. I've been learning loads from him, bringing my own youth and experience as well in different categories. And so far it's been a good dynamic. Part of the team is new with a lot of experience from other categories. I'm new with a lot of experience from other categories. And then you have the OGs like Lucas and some other guys in the team who have been here for a long time.
Lights out, Formula E
So in Sao Paulo, we had a pretty good performance for the first weekend. We were there around top 10, and we had a motor failure, which then we had to abandon.
And that is Lucas Di Grassi, the only Brazilian racer here doing this event in Sao Paulo. Car is damaged and we've got yellow flags.
That's unfortunate, but it's something that we know how to fix. We did fix it. So the positive from Sao Paulo is that we are competitive. The negative is that reliability is still not there.
Golf season 1, as we know in Formula E, anything can happen. If we can surprise a few times, that'll be great.
What about Zane Maloney, the boy from Barbados? Get the Lola Yamaha out, he pulls himself up into second fastest there, so that's a handy lap time.
We're planning to slowly build towards a championship run, but that's going to take several years to kind of get into a position where that's something we can realistically hope for, but that's the goal.
So it is time to bring Lola back to its former glory, and we have the tools to make it happen.
Amazing to see some of the history there, and I'm delighted to say that joining me now we have the team principal and motorsport boss, Thomas Biermeyer and Mark Preston, who have both been involved in Formula E since the very, very, very beginning. But how's it going with the new team and the new colours?
It's going really well. We battled each other, didn't we, for many years and over many championships, and now we're together as one team. We're obviously learning together, but it's going pretty well.
I love that about motorsport. Even though you're very experienced, you say you're still learning. That's a key thing, isn't it? Every day there's an opportunity to improve.
Yeah, and I think we're learning very fast at the moment, aren't we? It's a bit difficult at the very start. Obviously, only our third race as a new team and manufacturer, but I think it's going pretty well, although we're always frustrated, aren't we?
So, how do you manage then to control your desire to win when you know you have to build during the course of the season? How are you keeping everyone calm?
I think the most important is that all parties are working good and supportive together, and this is the reason why everybody is still very motivated, and not only the experience, also the motivation is the important thing. And yes, it's not an easy situation currently, but from the tire guy to the big bosses, everybody is sitting in the same boat and we are rowing in the right direction and hopefully improving from lap to lap or from race to race.
Absolutely. And what's it like, you know, you've been working with Lucas Di Grassi since the beginning in season 1, and here we are in season 11. The progression of the sport, Formula E, him as a driver, you as well in your role, stepping up into team principal. You must look back and be excited for the future.
Yeah, we had some fantastic years, especially at the beginning. Like he said, in the first 6 or 7 seasons, we won together 5 titles. So as competitors, he 3 and we 2. And together with Lucas, it was amazing. Really good times. And now we're getting older, clearly. You see, we're getting gray hairs. Some are from Lucas, but he's still competitive. He did a really good qualifying today, and yeah, we are happy to have him on board because he's quite experienced and he's helpful currently, especially in that phase where we want to build something up.
So there's no fast track to success, but what is the key first step, would you say, is the thing that if you can unleash that will bring you further to the front of the grid?
I mean, we've been getting our reliability sorted over the first few races, and fingers crossed we got a lot of the issues that we had coming there, and now it's just building. It's a software game, as you know. The hardware's now homologated and now running well, and now it's just how fast we can update the software with the team and the drivers and the testing we've got available.
Guys, so much luck, all the best. We hope to see you fighting for podium positions and get some points in the bag.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, this is it, really. The celebrations have started with the opening ceremony here. But before racing gets underway, we have sent Karun Chanog out down to turn 13, where we expect plenty of action like we did yesterday.
I've come down to the widest part of the track here, the run down to turn 13 behind me. And this is where the drivers will be taking their attack mode to give them that extra 50 kilowatts of power and also 4-wheel drive. If they want attack mode, they've got to come out to the right-hand side of the circuit and go over these 2 timing loops. If they miss one of these, as we saw Max Günther, yesterday's winner, doing, you won't get attack mode. So they've got to really make sure they get over those sensors in the right way. Now, there's plenty of opportunity for overtaking down here. Günther made the move into the final chicane yesterday to win. But realistically, this is the last really good overtaking spot. He did that yesterday because Roland was running out of energy. So I think we're going to see plenty of action. It's super wide. You can probably get 4 cars across into the corner. But there's opportunities on the way out as well. If you get the attack mode in the right way, as we saw Oliver Roland do, you could switch back to the inside on the way out, get better traction, and pass people into that penultimate chicane. I think we're going to see a lot of action down here today in the race.
Lovely stuff. Karun, you better get back quick, otherwise you're going to have 22 cars coming towards you. Delighted to say that joining me now is the CEO of Formula E, Jeff Dodds. Jeff, I mean, first of all, congratulations. Pit boost yesterday. What a success.
Well, yeah, so obviously I was a little relieved, Nikki, when it all went very smoothly and we got all those cars through, but, you know, groundbreaking. I think the team have been working on that for 7 years to get that off the line, so to see those cars come through and charge that quickly, yeah, amazing.
Now, we're here for round 4, an exciting race, and a different race we're expecting this afternoon. But when we've got the opportunity to be with you, we've got to look forward as well. So lots of innovation happening here, but what is the next, you know, is it a year away? When are we getting to the next
So look, we've got 1.5 years left of the Gen 3 Evo car. We then move to the Gen 4 car. The Gen 4 car is about twice the power of this car. So as you know, DC, things move really quickly here in Formula E. And between those 2 periods, we've got loads of innovation, like the Evo sessions and all that kind of lovely stuff.
Now, you mention it, Evo sessions. That was going to be my next question. It's like you knew. And what is it all about? We're going to be going to Miami. We've got some celebrities getting in the car, but tell us a bit more.
So look, 11 of the most followed celebrities in the world, about 350 million followers between them, and they're going to...
Just a few.
Just a few.
Similar to your following, right, Jeff?
Almost. They're going to get in the car, learn how to drive the car with the driver and with the team, and then they get to take that car out on the Miami Hard Rock circuit. And the aim of it is to bring new fans to the sport, also to showcase the driver and to show a little about the driver, but also show how difficult it is to drive a Formula E car. So we're super excited about it.
Yeah, it's not easy. And you've got the likes of Brooklyn Beckham, Supercar Blondie, Tom Felton, some big names.
Sergio Aguero, super excited. He's working with Porsche, so no, super cool. Very quiet here for this, Nikki, isn't it?
Sorry, what was that? And the other big name that we've got to talk about, who is now walking into the world of Formula E, is the wonderful star, Idris Elba.
Oh, yeah, announced last week. So with the Kiro team. And if you know it, I don't know if you know Idris, but one, the loveliest person you'll ever meet, but also not in for anything other than he loves motorsport and he wants to make a difference. He about 10 years ago, you're too young to remember it, but about 10 years ago, he did a series where he raced in different types of cars. I think he even broke a speed record on a Welsh beach in a Bentley or something. But he's an absolute speed freak. So he's involved. He's going to bring his star power to the championship, but he really wants to see Kiro win.
Well, I'm excited because, and I did meet him when we both drove the Formula E Gen 1 car back in season 2. Very, very exciting stuff. Well, thank you again, Jeff, for joining us. I know you've got a busy day. Not long before racing gets underway here in Jeddah, under the lights, and we get to enjoy this incredible opening ceremony.
We are around about the 15th, 16th place on the grid, and I'm looking around. We've got 3 Jaguar-powered cars and a Porsche-powered car. What are they doing this far down?
It is the race within the race here, isn't it, this evening? Having spoken to a few of the drivers, they say, look, the margins are just so small. You can perform well or you can perform badly, but really, when you're talking about that, it's literally fractions of a second. And I think, in general, we've seen, especially for Nick Cassidy and Mitch Evans, they've just said, look, we've been struggling all weekend. It's as simple as that. Nobody can really put their finger on why. It's a new track. Obviously, they had the pit boost element, but apart from that, I think it's just overall pace that they feel like they haven't got.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars, that has, like you said, it's been the case all weekend, but it is surprising to see for the likes of, you know, current reigning champion Pascal Wehrlein this far back, when he was showing the pace yesterday. So it really is a problem over the last 24 hours that everyone in a Porsche-powered car, except Antonio Villas da Costa, has suffered with.
Yeah, you said you caught up with Antonio earlier. Did he give any insight?
I did. I think he was about to. I kind of said, how did you do it and no one else do it? And he went, and he went, I probably shouldn't say.
Is he there?
He knows something.
No, he's already in the car.
Yeah, Wehrlein's in the car.
Focus.
Let's see, I think Jev's about to get in the car. We might have got to that point, Casey, when they're all just putting their helmets on, and we've missed the boat to talk to them. But we've got lots to talk about here, because that's one story. Going up to the top end of the grid, you know, we've talked about Taylor Barnard, we've talked about the likes of Jake Hughes as well. Really, you know, probably bounce back from yesterday, I think. down the other side of the grid, you've got another reigning champion, another former champion, Stoffel van Dorn, right at the back, being disqualified.
I know.
This is a real mess up of future and past champions. Like, what's going to happen?
It's actually really nice, though, to have the kind of spread through the grid in terms of racing. We know that they're going to be hungry for it. I mean, he qualified P3 on track, and then obviously was disqualified for not having the fire extinguisher arm, so that was massively unlucky for him, and I think he's really hungry for vengeance on that, because it was a big turnaround. I think yesterday he qualified P14, so they obviously found something within Maserati overnight that Jake was doing in qualifying that was able to kind of transfer to him.
It's really unfortunate as well, because they had a great opportunity for really, really useful team play, and we've seen how beneficial that can be when you can work together with your teammate. You know, when it comes to attack mode strategy, when it comes to energy management, even just sitting behind each other and doing a swap when it's, you know, appropriate, can really pay dividends when it comes to the result at the end of the race. I made a bold prediction in some digital content earlier. I'm really curious to see if you agree with me. I said, if Taylor Barnard cannot just hold on to the win, even if he retains a podium, he is a serious title contender for this season.
100%. I was thinking that earlier. I mean, what rookie season have we ever seen start like this? I said to Ian James when you signed him at the beginning of the year, were you expecting this? And he said, absolutely not, but how fantastic. And he also said that, you know, when they had Jake Hughes, they had a similar performance from him early days as a rookie. And I think it's really interesting, because we always talk about the experience that it takes to be competitive in Formula E, and they're completely proving us wrong. This fresh blood's coming in. This raw hunger, the raw speed that you have with youth is very impressive to see.
It is, you know, for me, it always brings up that age-old question of the rookie versus veteran argument in Formula E. You know, in the past, it's always the veteran, it was always the experience that paid dividends. Lucas de Grassi, like the energy management king, doing what he did best. But as we've gone on through championship and season after season, the rookies are really holding them to account now.
And I think also when you look at the technology that's developing, I mean, when you think about the simulators that they're able to train on nowadays, yes, they don't have so many testing days, it's limited, but actually the work that they can put in behind the scenes to develop, to become competitive, is very advanced now, and they take it very literally, the simulator work.
Yeah, and it's so influential, you know, especially with such a software and technical development style of sport. It pays dividends. But we've got a lot to look forward to now in this race. I don't know which way it's going to go. Taylor Barnard's got the hardest job in Formula E ahead of him. Time will tell. Let's see what happens. I can't call it.
Who's your prediction?
Barnard.
Well, there we have it. Let's see if we can do it.
So the clock is ticking down to lights out. We are moments away from going green here in Jeddah. But if you are new to Formula E and you are wondering what it's all about, here's everything you need to know. Formula E, it's the world's first all-electric motorsport.
From day one, it's been carbon net zero, bringing emission-free racing to iconic city streets around the globe.
The championship has attracted the biggest manufacturers
and the fastest drivers on the planet.
All competing for the ultimate prize, the title of world champion.
In just 10 seasons, we've already had 9 different champions.
So, how does it all work?
Each race unfolds in a single day, with practice, qualifying and the race itself happening just a matter of hours apart. There is no shortage of excitement to keep you hooked.
Now, it's time to race.
Lights out and we're racing.
The race distance is fixed by a set number of laps.
The first driver to cross the finish line takes maximum points with a bonus point for the fastest lap.
The race start is always epic. The fastest accelerating single-seater race cars on the planet hurtling into turn 1, drama guaranteed.
Best bit for me, it has to be attack mode.
Drivers activate attack mode by moving off the racing line and passing through the activation zone. This unlocks more grip and an extra 50 kilowatts of power, giving the drivers the edge they need to attack or defend.
For me, I love watching these drivers race on a knife edge. With everybody pushing to the limit, running out of energy before the finish could mean losing it all.
Oliver Rowland has run out of energy.
And after 16 wheel-to-wheel races, the driver with the most points will be crowned Formula E World Champion. So we made history yesterday with the first ever Jeddah EPrix. We might make history again today in this race. Are we going to see Taylor Barnard be crowned as the youngest Formula E winner?
Do you know what? That's a massive question. I think that's the question on Ian James's mind as well. I can't imagine being the team or even his family right now. But do you know what? Whatever happens, he's done such an amazing job so far, and I think we're going to see him in Formula E for a good few years to come. But I think right now he's just calm and he's seeing it. It's just another race.
Yeah, I mean, Ian James must be thinking this was a good pick, because Taylor Barnard had that opportunity when Sam Bird broke his hand. He shone. He did a really good job under what was a pretty high-pressured environment, and yeah, got him in for a full race seat this year.
Yeah, exactly. And it was actually going to look like he was going to have a bit of a team strategy from Maserati behind, because they were going to be starting P3 and 4, I think it was, on the grid. But obviously that's not happening now, because Stoffel has been has received the penalty all the way back to the back of the grid for not arming the fire extinguisher. So it doesn't look like he's going to be on his own up there. So maybe he's got a bit more of a chance. But as we talk about the slipstream for this race, it's actually might arguably, with the energy saving strategy, it might not be the best place to start in pole position.
Now, it's interesting, isn't it, how Maserati have really turned things around this weekend. Both of the drivers in the points yesterday. So this is another opportunity for them.
It is. Well, I think Stoffel's very frustrated by that unfortunate turn of events after qualifying. But who knows? Attack mode now, I think, you know, we saw... Who was it? Max Günther passing 8 cars in the last few laps with attack mode. So I think, yeah, the possibilities are there with the extra four-wheel drive and the extra power that's giving this year, which is giving us more action on track and more overtakes, which is what everybody wants to see.
And Oliver Rowland is on the front row of the grid in P2. This is an opportunity for him. He knows how to manage energy in a race, unlike Taylor Barnard, who perhaps, being a rookie, might not be able to be as consistent when it comes to that.
Yeah, and I think especially after yesterday, he's hungry for it. I think he said that they made a slight slip up in the communication there yesterday on how to manage his energy. So hopefully they've managed to figure that overnight. And I know if I was him, I'd be very hungry for it. 2 runner-up poles and then...
Well, it is a big moment for him, a big moment for the team, and a massive moment for Formula E here, potentially making history. But we are just a few moments away from the lights out. The stage is set, the cars are lined up. Sit tight, it's going to be one thrilling ride.
Right now, 22 other fighters are preparing for battle on the shores of Saudi Arabia.
This is where it all kicks off.
And when that bell rings, you better be ready to go the distance.
Jeddah is go!
To win, you got to be the fastest, the smartest, and the baddest.
Contact!
Rivalries born on the track.
The heat chops over.
Max Günther may have taken round 1 under the lights, but watch out for a knockout in round 2.
Another title contender.
You asked me if I'm ready. Are you?
It's round 4 of the 2025 ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. For a second time this weekend, we're under the lights in Jeddah on the Corniche coastline. What a weekend of racing we have had so far. 24 hours ago, we saw Maximilian Günther taking a clean sweep, pole position, fastest lap, and the race victory, securing DS Penske's first win since 2023. 24 hours later, it's all turned on its head. Günther lines up 6th on the grid, and we've got an all-British front row. This is the circuit that we're racing at this weekend, the Jeddah Corniche track, 3 kilometres long, and David Coulthard, it has already been the scene of some very exciting action this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's proven itself to be a nice new addition to the calendar. It's given us racing opportunities, and a little bit, I think we'll see more actually today with the management increase that's there with the standard race.
Absolutely. Turn 8, that was the scene of some drama in the opening lap with Nico Müller going skywards and ultimately ending up retiring from the race. Down at turn 13, this long left-hander, that's where the attack mode will be activated. Drivers taking a longer loop there, they'll have 2 bursts of energy, extra energy and power in the race. So let's see how that is all going to work out over this 19-turn circuit over 31 laps. And let's have a look also at the starting grid coming into this race. 22 drivers lining up on it.
Finally, we've got our systems back up and running after a bit of a problem with their headsets. Let's go through your starting grid then. It's Stoffel van Dorn who got disqualified from qualifying, starting at the back of the field. Nico Müller is in 21st position. Alongside then, as well on row 10, it's Zane Maloney alongside Jake Dennis. Row 9 sees Sebastian Boehme and Nick Cassidy. Row 8 sees Lucas de Grassi and Mitch Evans. Row 7, Robin Frines and Pascal Verlaine. Row 6 sees Jean-Eric Verne and David Beckman. And then the top 10 and the first 5 rows of the grid. Norman Nato lines up in 10th with Dan Tincton in 5th, in 9th position. Row 4, season 8, Nick de Vries is then alongside Sam Bird, who starts in 7th for Neil McLaren. Slowest in the duels, but still went okay. Then we get Maximilian Gunther starting 6th with Eduardo Mortara in 5th. Antonio Felix da Costa's 4th with Jake Hughes in 3rd. Oliver Rowland 2nd. And a pole position for Taylor Barnard. What a day he is having. Could he become the youngest ever race winner in Formula E history? Well, that's the question. Here's your commentary team. Hello, everyone. I'm Joshua Budge. Alongside me is Jack Pickering as well. Pico, nice to have you. Sorry I couldn't chat with you before. The bus mixer blew up a bit. I had to solve it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. As long as everything's good now.
Everything is good?
Yeah.
So, hello, how are you?
I'm good, yeah. What an amazing prospect we have in front of us. Taylor Barnard has been on fire all weekend, and he put it together in qualifying earlier today to take 3 points from the youngest ever pole winner. Will he become the youngest ever race winner today? I'm super excited for this. Ollie Rowland has been on fire all weekend as well. So close to the win yesterday. Will want redemption. And yeah, the Maserati has been looking quick as well. Max Gunther, can he do it again from 6th? We'll have to see. Honestly, this race is going to be, it's going to have loads of fireworks as we see the fireworks just on display.
55 seconds until the lights go out then. Let's give you a reminder about how this is going to work. We have usable energy at 38.5 kilowatts. Regen is at 0.3% as well. You can only use 5 kilowatts rolling to the grid. We have no pit boost in this race. It's an old-fashioned race to go forward. We'll have 480 seconds, another 8 minutes for attack mode. 3 options of those, 2 to 6 minutes, 4 a piece aside, and 6 to 2 as well. And we have a possible of extra 5 laps added for the safety car procedure as well. All set to go then, as we get the green lights at the back. Pico, we had a safety car and a crash on that one yesterday. Do you think we'll be okay today?
Well, we'll have to see. They know what not to do from yesterday, so hopefully it might be a bit more reserved. We might get everyone through lap 1. However, someone hasn't moved forward.
Yes.
It might be the Lola Yamaha. One of the Lola Yamahas.
It's happened again. Thank you, Lola. Again.
Deja vu, Josh.
Who is it on that row of the grid? It's not. Is it Zane Maloney? He was in 20th with Nico Muller behind him, and again.
It's Lucas de Grassi because he was the first of the Lola Yamahas.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. No, because I saw Van Dorn's not further back. So yes, that is
de Grassi.
Lucas de Grassi.
So it hit Maloney in Sao Paulo. It's hit de Grassi here, and again the start's been aborted, but he's got moving. Fantastic. So we are going to get the race going.
But yeah, Maloney had problems in the pre-season test back in Madrid. However, Robin Frines had an issue in Sao Paulo, but it looks like everything's all right. There's still the yellow flag waving. We still got the yellow lights on, but we've now got the green flag at the back, Josh.
Right, so we are all good to go. Race control will adjust the procedure. Typical, before this, we'd only had ever one aborted start. In the space of a couple of races, we've had 2. Eyes to the lights then for round 4 of season 11 of ABB FIA Formula E. Lights on. 2, 3, 4, 5. Control on. Go! Great start from Barnard. Hughes coming up immediately.
Good start from Hughes as well. Cuts off Rowland.
That was amazing. And Rowland's having to go on the outside. 3 to 1 and contact. Gunther getting chopped up with Mortara and Da Costa. And Mortara's getting sideways towards the wall. Da Costa goes through. Awesome start. And Gunther's gone off. He's in the back. It's happened immediately. Round goes Da Costa. Gunther T-bones him at 3.
That was was all out of control from Max Günther. It looked like he just dive bombed into Antonio Felix da Costa. Günther is slowing, so he might have an issue.
And so is Da Costa. They've both dropped back to the back of the field. Barnard leads, Hughes second. What a start from Jake Hughes. Battery issues this morning in practice 3. He just got through in qualifying by the skin of his teeth. Got into the gills and now he's battling with Barnard. Fantastic. And they've dropped right to the back. Maloney's involved there too. He's now down in 20th place. Anyone going for attack mode? No. They will need to get rid of it. Here's a replay though of what happened in turn 3, Jack.
Well, we're going to see it from the offboard, and it looked just like Günther just outbraked himself. A little bit like we saw in free practice 2 yesterday between Van Dorn and De Vries. He just outbraked himself, went straight into the former championship leader Antonio Felix da Costa, and it spun both of them round. They're now towards the back of the field. Someone who's made huge advantage during that is Dan Ticktum. He's up to 6th.
Front right suspension.
Gunther's out with a front right suspension issue. Da Costa's also in the pit lane. He looks like he's out. So the winner from yesterday is out on lap 1 here in round 4 of the season. They are into the pit lane. There's no pit boost either. So that's not going to matter to them as the race continues on. So Barnard in the lead. And I think, Jack, this is going to be now energy-saving racing. Can we just compliment Dan Ticktum in 6th place at the moment? Beckman's in 9th. It's going really well for them.
Yeah, incredible stuff for Kiro. They really capitalised on what happened. The Günther da Costa incident is understandably under investigation. It wouldn't be surprised that because they're both out of the race, that might be a grid drop in Miami for Max Günther. What a difference 24 hours makes for the DF Penske team. But yeah, the Kiro team absolutely made the best start they could from that, with Ticktum up to tick. He was denied a points position yesterday through problems through pit boost. None of that today, so hopefully some good points on for the third Porsche team.
Timing screen again having its usual race glitch at the moment. 2 to 6 is the attack mode strategy, so that's using the first option of those attack modes. We get our driver tracker back. Hopefully our actual times come back soon. They are catching up with themselves, so it will be in there shortly. Meantime, though, use your attack mode to gain positions in the end of the race. Yeah, that's pretty much standard. It is under investigation, as you say, and that is a clearly broken front right for Günther as Jay Penske and Oliver Turvey watch on there. Their day gone from highs to lows in the space of 24 hours exactly. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunate for the DS team. Their hopes now rest on John O'Byrne, who's up in 7th, so can potentially do well from there, and they'll have they would have poured over the data from Max yesterday as we got some moves into the chicane, and that is Dan Ticktum. Was that going round the outside of De Vries? But Verne's got both of them.
Oh, Da Costa's tried to leave the pit lane, but he's stopped. I was wondering why it said stopped on track for Da Costa on our timing screen. He's at the exit of pit lane. NATO's moving around the field as they all try and lift up now. Anyone going to take attack mode this lap? No. So, oh, yes. No, is that Maloney? It's Degrassi. It's the other one.
Degrassi.
It's too far back on the monitor to see it. Buemi's up to 11th then as well after starting this race in 18th place.
Yeah, the Jaguars haven't had the best of weekends, and Nick Cassidy, the man who's been fighting for the championship the last few years, is currently, as we're on round 4 at the moment, still pointless. He can't be pointless by the end of the race, can he?
Verne's going to the inside of Bird in towards turn 1, and that's okay because Bird's got damage. Sam Bird with a broken front wing. The front right end plate has been snapped. It looks like a broken twig. As Barnard now beginning to back the field up, and right round the outside, Dan Ticktum having a look at Sam Bird. Meantime, Robin Freund's trying to get past Norman Nato, and Degrassi's already passed Evans and Verline, and Cassidy now down 16th. Jaguar and Porsche really struggling out there.
From Porsche side, Verline had a terrible qualifying today, and so they were hoping on Da Costa to do well.
3 wide.
He is out of this. But yeah, 3 wide into the chicane, and that's Bird defending from Dan Ticktum there.
And Vern, I think, has gone ahead of Roland for third. Yes, he has. And Fried's already moving up. De Vries and NATO dropped 2 places as well. There's a move going on there from Boemi as they all filter into turn 13. Boemi's trying to go right round the outside there as well. On to Grassi. That's going to be a bit tight. And Fried gets past NATO as well at the same time. It's all going nuts.
Yeah, Degrassi up into the point of the moment through his attack mode usage. He's still got 2 minutes of that, meaning that he went for the 4 and 4 split.
So that's option 2 on our radar that we get given by Race Control in our pre-race build-up with the FIA documents. If you want to find it, it's document number 7. Which is the race information for Jeddah as they come down. As there's a move on the inside from Tictum, but he's got Bird trying to go back round the outside of it. There's a bit of contact there. Tictum round the outside, maintains 5th position. Bird's surely going to get the meatball flag. That wing is hanging off very dramatically as Degrassi round the outside of Friends touches the back of Sam Bird at turn 3.
Degrassi's on a mission here. Lola have had a very slow start to their era in Formula E. They started this season. But yeah, they're trying to grab headlines. They used yesterday as a test session we just had a move. They're side by side in the chicane again.
Roland's taken 2. Roland's passed Hughes and Vern down at the bus stop. Wow,
that is incredible.
That
from
Nissan,
Ollie Roland,
and there goes Degrassi up the inside on Vern as well, these 2 old rivals. Degrassi's going through 3 of them. Oh, fabulous move. Degrassi's up to 3rd. He's going to hold it with Vern round the outside. He almost goes in the wall. They wheel bang. Vern stays ahead. Degrassi is holding nothing back as we come in to 17, 18 and 19. And he's got a great
launch.
launch.
Degrassi was about 13th.
This is insane. Go for it!
Degrassi was about 13th when he took attack mode. He's now closing. He's now passing Vern. Can he get Roland as well? Roland's challenging for the lead down into turn 1, but Barnard's staying in front. It's very important that, that unlike yesterday, there is no pit boost.
Degrassi's taking the lead!
Degrassi's going to go for the lead here.
He's round the outside. Barnard keeps the inside line at 3 and stays ahead. Oh, Mark, what? I would love to hear what Mark's saying right now down at Lola. He must be jumping up and down. This is magical.
It is worth noting, though, that because there is no pit boost, that they have to save a lot more energy than they did yesterday. They have to save over 10% more. And we saw yesterday Roland running out before the line. And so it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a lot slower race than this time yesterday.
Look at Franz.
So you do not need to fight Degrassi. You can follow him. He's got 16 seconds of 350 remaining.
Tictum passes Hughes. Franz touched the back. Beckman takes 4 minutes of attack mode. Verline's taken his 4 as well. And it's all on me shambles going on down the chicane at 14 and 15 as they come through. Tictum up to 4th. Vern down to 5th. And now Barnard's been told just let Degrassi through and you follow him as Verline sends out the inside of NATO for the top 10. Oh, this is more like it.
Yeah, this is what we were expecting it was going to be. It was going to be more of like a peloton style race today, and people giving away the leads because you don't want to be in front because you're saving more power if you're sitting in the slipstream. Now Barnard's led for 7 laps already. That must be huge, a huge difference in his energy numbers.
So Verline we're on board with. He's past De Vries, and now we see up the inside, it's Tictum finding a groove. He was complaining yesterday about the car to do a reset. It looks like they've fixed it now, as that is going to be Oliver Roland taking the lead of the race from 3rd, and round the outside, Vern's in there too. Degrassi's backed out. He's gone back into about 4th position. Tictum's there too. Roland leads from Barnard, who's dropped back to 2nd. Shift around, it's time now as well.
I don't think Degrassi will be complaining too much about being in 4th place. I think the Lola team will absolutely love that. As now Tictum dives down the inside and will demote Degrassi to 5th.
Degrassi, Vern and Barnard nearly, and Degrassi's going for Vern as well. Oh, come on! This is a magical race.
Yeah, it's important to note that Roland has gone to the lead because Roland's quite good at timing when to go in these style of races. The only time when they did mess that up was the Misano race where they went about half a lap too early.
Verline gets ahead of Degrassi, and Vern goes through as well. Barnard's dropped back, that's why. Here he goes on the inside. So is Vern going to find a way through on Barnard at the exit? He's got
That was Vern going through there, and that is Verline going through into third place. So Barnard down to fourth.
Yeah, he's saving energy now, Barnard. He's got this very much in the grips now. Frines passes Hughes. Cassidy and Mortara looking a bit feisty further back as well, as we see that move from Frines on the inside line, down the chicane, and that's going to be very late on the brakes. Do they all get through the chicane? They're all 2x2 further back. It's like the Texas two-step back there.
Everyone so far who's taken attack mode has gone for 4 and 4, so they haven't gone with what the virtual race engineer suggested a few laps ago.
Sack the AI, that's what I'm saying. Sack the AI. They did it yesterday. They went more. Oh, and Bird's wing is flying out everywhere as he goes around the outside with Beckman. And he forces Beckman out. Bird goes through it, but that wing is going to fly off. He needs to touch one of the walls or just get it to be taken off.
And there's some debris in the chicane there. That looks... I was about to say that looks a little bit Porsche there, but I'm not 100% sure. There's also a little bit of debris just on the left of the start-finish line. Right, left to us, right on the... if you're driving the circuit.
A little bit wide there from Verline, or on board with Vern, chasing Roland. It's lap 9 of 31, round the outside. That was Beckman trying to have a go on Jake Hughes. Did he make the move stick? No, and now he's got Bird back on the inside, and Cassidy's coming in there as well. And Cassidy takes the pair of them. Oh, fabulous run there from Cassidy as we come down to the braking zone now. Trying to go down. Bird still in the attack mode as he comes through. As they come in, oh, hang on a minute, there's something cracked further back there. Yellow flag's out, and Sam Bird has dropped down into 16th place. There's something gone on in the chicane.
Could he have just got... I think Sam Bird might have picked up maybe a bit more damage coming into that chicane there. But this is the problem with these sort of peloton-style races. It's because everyone's sort of packing themselves up. It means that there is more risk of these...
contact!
Of contacts.
Degrassi and Cassidy hitting each other in the chicane. Just a bit of a wheel bang. I'm trying to... that is Cassidy on with a minute left of attack mode. Trying to see where Bird is. The oil flag's gone out again. Vern is on the back of Roland.
Boemi's into the pits.
Oh, right. So Boemi's had damage then. As Beckman...
So could that have been Boemi and Bird having come together?
Yeah, I think you're right there. Bird's still in 15th place. I need a replay from that, please, TV Director. Look at Frines round the outside, trying on Tictum at turn 3 and 4, really pushing it hard. Lap 10. It's only lap 10.
We're only a third of the way through this race. It's already chaos. I think it's going to be a little bit less chaotic than yesterday because we don't have to factor in pit stops. But even then, it's still typical Formula E. It won't go gently.
No. I still can't see Bird on the TV cameras.
Bird's just been flagged up for not following race director instructions. We'll see
Cut the chicane,
what happens. I did also see Gunter come up with that, but I think that's irrelevant considering that Max Gunter is out of this race.
Mortara passes NATO. Evans passes Bird at the chicane area as well, so it's all going on back there. There is... Well, where is Sam Bird? There's Frines on the inside of Degrassi. Makes that very obvious, but did he make the move?
Frines has just... Frines just made the move. He's just taken his attack mode as well. So he will now start to fly up towards the front. Envision are a team that I think are in a little bit of trouble because we've seen the Jag cars not be... at the front as of late.
Barnard's back to second. He's got Vern right up his trumpet though. And Frines on the back of Cassidy now as well. And that is Cassidy getting attacked out as Frines looks at the inside line of Tictum on the inside 5. Yeah. I looked at the time screen to tell me and it was still on the wrong graphic, so I had to pause instead of saying the wrong thing. Degrassi's made 15 overtakes in this race. Frines just behind him as he now goes around the outside into the braking zone, the chicane. They've got to be very careful here. Yeah, they've all made it through safely. Vern's going for a move.
Who would have thought that this bus stop chicane would have been an overtaking zone? I'm looking forward to London and seeing how that's going to be. We have got a yellow flag out though, so
last corner
might be more concertina at the chicanes.
I wonder what that was about. It was down at this part of the circuit on turn 18 as well. Still closing through now. So Roland's led 45 laps this season. He's going to lead more now. Verline 17, DaCosta 14, Gunther 12, Evans only 7. There are 5 leaders we've had here in ABB Formula E Season 11. Evans tonight, and Frines making it now with attack mode. He's got such a great run out that last corner. He'll blitz past Barnard and Roland, round the outside, 2 into 1, does go into turn 1.
What a move from Robin Frines, that and Envision back into a position that they were quite used to a few seasons ago. As of late, it hasn't been the same, but let's see if Robin can hold it up there. He's still got 2 minutes of attack mode, so he can either coast and save energy, or he can push away and try and build that gap.
Cassidy and Evans have swapped positions, with Evans now in attack mode as well, as Hughes and Tictum doing battle. Is almost 3 wide coming into the braking zone. On board with Evans, who's now going to have a go on Tictum. Still can't see Sam Bird, but he's got Stoffel Van Dorn right behind him. And the top 10 are shifting around so much on the timing screen, it can't even keep up anymore. As they fly in, Evans around the outside line, gets ahead of Tictum.
He's going to have a shot at Hughes as well. I'm not sure if he was able to pull that off by the time we got to turn 13. But coming into the chicane now, yeah, Evans is still behind. And Sambird's got a 5-second penalty for not following the race directions instructions.
Sadly saw that coming, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it is quite big, because 5 seconds
in this
race means a lot in this style of racing.
It's practically a death's door approach, isn't it? Oh, more attack modes coming now as well.
Yeah, I think that was Evans making a move on Hughes for 6th place that we just saw there. And so he's going around the outside of the hairpin to pass Verline as well, and not quite able to get Vern, but might be able to in the run-up to the bus stop chicane.
So Frines is running out of attack mode now, so is Evans. Okay, so our timing screens are caught up to date, just double checking, because they were having a bit of a system glitch. Wi-Fi hasn't been too great there. All have enough energy to race max pace, we've been told, so they can all go to the end.
That is interesting. Admittedly, we are on lap 13 of 31, and the energy usages are in and around 60%. The best is Roland in second on 63. Roland, obviously we've seen it a lot in the last 12 months or so, but he's really come into his own in this Gen 3 era.
Yeah. He's been a man on a mission, hasn't he, as well? It has been such a great impression.
It genuinely would not surprise me if he wins the championship this year, and he does it
I'm with you on that.
before, with a race to spare. It would not surprise me.
Hughes.
No squeeze coming into one there. And Vern having to back off in the end. That's Hughes going around the outside of Vern and Evans, and we'll have Barnard to face next. Down into turn 5. Not an overtaking spot, but in attack mode, everywhere's an overtaking spot this season.
Just trying to take it all, trying to see who is where and who can match the pace.
Oh.
And again, it's getting so chaotic, isn't it? Barnard's still in 4th place.
Vern with a mad move into the chicane. He's not even in attack mode, and he just outbraked Evans on sheer pace. Fantastic stuff. As Roland, it looks like he's going to take attack and drops only 1 position, because Barnard doesn't get past him. Hughes is doing a fantastic job at blocking him, but Roland takes attack mode and drops from 2nd to 3rd, and that's all.
Cassidy's got a attack mode now coming through, as we've just shifted up our commentary monitors, so we're having a bit of glitching, but I still need a driver tracker to see who's where. Now, we've got Boemi back out on track as we get more move down to 1. Frines now getting past. Roland's coming through on the inside line, and Roland takes the lead with that attack mode. And here comes Barnard, very late on the inside line of Hughes. Hughes just about sees him. Barnard can't move.
Yeah, Roland, well now, he's only taken 2 minutes, which is interesting. So he's going for the 2 and then the 6 later, meaning that when he does take that second set of attack mode, if he is quite far back, he will be able to side through the field. So we've seen even on 4 minutes.
So save for the 20 seconds remaining. Let Roland by, he's in 350 and you can follow him for the 20 seconds remaining.
That's cues on the radio, but yeah, but yeah, we've seen even people with 4 minutes that they've been able to side through the field from like 13th up to the front of the pack. So Roland is in a seriously good position here.
Barnard didn't mean to take that, I don't think. He went very wide, but he's got attack mode now anyway, and he's come out in between of Verline, Vern, DeGrassi, and all the others in that melee mess. Barnard having to break mid-corner. He's now got... Which one is that? It's Cassidy in that mix. Wow.
I think that's Evans. Cassidy's a little bit further down.
Yeah, I didn't see Evans' name up in 5th place because the timing screen moved around. So, hang on, it's changing again because Hughes gets out of the way for Barnard, who's just going to go through anyway. Frines does the same thing. Vern's coming into the mix in 1, but Frines cuts him off. Barnard retakes second as Roland now out of attack mode, gap at 2.3 seconds, and Barnard's got 3 minutes 18 left of attack mode. Bring it on.
Yeah, Vern's up into 3rd place now. He's also in attack mode. So we're going to see if those two can sort of close down that gap that the Roland's got out front. But Roland will still be thinking in the back of his mind about what happened yesterday. So he will want to conserve.
Okay, you can use up to your target. Let's try and catch up to Roland. He's now standard power.
Yeah, go, basically. Go, Barnard, go. Gunther's investigated after the race for now as well, for not following race director's instructions. So there's a separate one.
That makes sense. That makes sense. He's out of the race, so just focus on the people in the race, and then they'll sweep that to the side, and they'll announce that later on.
It makes sense. You've got to keep your eyes focused on this drama. Yeah, there's debris at the exit of chicane number 1 on the backstretch. Oh, very late round the outside. Beautiful from Tictum with 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, and he's got 2 cars in front of him with Frines Hughes who don't have attack mode as well. So if he can get past them, he goes up to 4th place. He's passed Frines already. Let's see how quick he gets up to Jake Hughes in the Maserati.
For those of you watching us in America, thank you for tuning into our watch log. We apologise on behalf of Formula E that it's not being broadcast on your channels. I do apologise, but I'm very glad that we can help you follow the race with our radio watch along. As Roland now in 2nd position, under attack from Vern, but he in turn is attacking Barnard, who has the lead of the race.
So that's a change for the lead that has happened when we weren't looking. So Barnard's now back into the lead. He's still got 90 seconds of attack mode still to use, and so he can just sit there. If I were Taylor Barnard at this moment, even though we know how powerful attack mode is, I'd just sit there and save as much energy as physically possible and just keep a Roland there, because I think having more energy is going to be more important than blitzing away at the front in attack mode.
Brief yellow at turn 16 at the exit here, so something's happened further back, we can't see, but it's now green flag again. So brief yellow, quick green. That came through. There is on our timing monitors now, flying up. I think it's a marshal gone out to pick up some debris.
That would be that sounds about right. As Casti's just he's in his final attack mode already.
Is everyone in front of me in attack?
Just tick Tom, 50 seconds.
Oh.
That's not great for Casti, because although he's taken he's done his strategy. This is how his race was always going to plan out, but it means that he might be susceptible to other people taking attack later in the race. We can still see that Mortara, Buemi and Maloney still haven't taken any attack modes yet, just sitting there at the back of the field. But they will have to go some point in the next couple laps.
So into the braking zone now for turns 14, 15 and 16, slowly pulling away. Barnard has your lead from Roland, Vern, Hughes, Tictum, Cassidy, Evans, Vern, Frines and Dennis, but they swap places as Cassidy gets ahead of Cassidy now gets ahead of Tictum as well. It's pointless even trying to go through the order. It's changing every second you try.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit more reserved up the front now, and now that we've only got 2 people in attack mode, which is Cassidy and Dennis, both of whom will run out in the next minute. But it feels a little bit more reserved, and it might actually calm down for a couple of laps here.
I suppose it's what we like to see. We might all keep hitting this action. That's always a separate guess, but Cassidy's now got 30 seconds left. Dennis with the same as Cassidy now uses that to get ahead of Hughes. Can he catch Vern in that time at the bus stop? No, he can't, but Barnard was jumping over the curbs as Roland's retaken the lead of the race.
I think it might be Barnard just trying to save a little bit of energy. He's done a lot of leading in this race, as has Roland, to be fair. But,
they've shared it, yeah.
But he'll be wanting to save a little bit of power because he was about 1% down on Roland the last time that we saw the graphics.
Barnard led 6. Hang on a minute.
You are 1 to 2% up on sock to all cars around. Only Dennis P9, 2% up to you.
Barnard led the opening 6 laps. Roland 7 to 11. 12 to 14 for Frines, 15 and 16 for Roland, 17, 18 Barnard, and now 19 and 20 belongs to Roland in terms of laps led so far in this race.
This is personally why we need a point for leading the most laps, because the last couple of years we've seen people willingly give up the lead, but if there was a point on offer, people would try and get that point and still try and get a solid result out of it.
And I think it would solve a lot of our issues as Maloney and Boemi swap places on the circuit, but they're having their own little battle over 19th and 20th. Da Costa and Gunther are out of the race. As Cassidy completely out of attack mode with everyone else around him with 4 or 6 minutes left. Cassidy is going to sink like a stone.
Yeah, that is my fear. And Cassidy has had such a horrid start to this year that someone who we think is always in the championship hunt there is a fair chance he could leave here tonight and spend the next 2 months pointless this season.
Set from Roland quickly.
Yeah, clean for him.
I think I feel good, Negative. Only Dennis 1% up on you. P9.
Yeah, it's not good news for Roland, unfortunately. Barnard is a man on a mission.
And how impressive is this? This is his 4th full-time race. Yes, he did a few races standing in for Sam last year, but those races were enough for McLaren to see the light in signing him to replace the outgoing Jake Hughes. And what a signing it was. Sure, you can look at Sao Paulo and go, there was a little bit of luck came into that, but he's been on fire this weekend. Massively, and he regretted what happened yesterday in qualifying. He went better today, and he's determined now. He's got that focus, and he's got the car underneath him as well at this circuit. McLaren really flowing at the moment. But Nissan going to have an issue. Timing transponders just changed there as well between a couple of the cars. No one's actually moved places. Yeah. Nissan have really come into this season all guns blazing. They've clearly got one of the best powertrains with Porsche, and it showed with Ollie Rowland leading the championship and leading the race as it stands. And yeah, it's looking really strong for the Nissan powertrains, and yeah. Mortara gets ahead of Van Dorn for 13th and 14th. Now the peloton begins and we wait once again for the go moment. Yeah, we've got a couple people in attack mode down the field, but no one in the top 10 at the moment. Mortara's got under a minute left of his, whereas Beckman, Muller, Maloney are all in further down. Which I believe that was Roland there. Yeah, 4 tenths down. Yeah, I believe that leaves only Buemi left to take both attack modes.
Cassidy's trying to go around the outside of Barnard just to at least try and get himself some space. It's not going to pay off the way you think it is at the moment. Just looked in the chat. Hello, Brad. Do people actually enjoy watching Formula E? Massively so, yes. Well, I thought you weren't coming back after saying yesterday. You said Brad said yesterday the first and only time he'll be watching Formula E, and yet you're back here today. Is it that good? It's dragged you back? I hope so. Dennis takes 4 minutes of attack mode. He's now out of it. So does Degrassi. This is getting feisty. It's just starting to... It's like when you have garlic bread as a starter. You know the main's coming and you're excited.
That is a fantastic analogy. I now want some garlic bread. But yeah, we are now starting to see a few people taking their final attack mode. So Dennis is now into his final attack mode, as is Degrassi. And then Muller and Beckman are in their final attack mode. We're looking likely that Beckman might miss out on some points here after a very strong qualifying. But Tictum in the other Kiro is still up there in P6 at the moment.
7 now. Dennis just went right outside of him.
Pascal told to fight with us. Pascal told to fight with us. Elbows out. You know what to do.
That's so they're racing Verline, who's in 9th, but Dennis just went right round the outside of Tictum at turn 4, brilliantly at the hairpin. He's gone through, and now he's on the mission. Cassidy battling still with Vern, as they're still the same percentage. I'm looking at it, I'm working it out. We might have to lift on energy here.
And interestingly, Nissan.
If Crude...
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So we are just over 2/3 way through the race, and there's just under a third of the power that we're on 30. Ronan's on 30%.
Evans has stopped. Something's wrong with Evans. Evans is slow at turn 14. He's slow, and the yellows are out. Evans had something wrong with him. He's dropped all the way to the back of the field.
We're going to have to wait for a replay on that. It might be that he clipped a wall, but has either got front wing damage or a puncture. But he has now entered the pits, I believe. So there is something wrong with his car there, as Dennis is now up into second place. Where did that happen? Jake Dennis is now just behind Ollie Rowland. Got 2 minutes left of attack and could be into the lead here.
Turn 4. I think he went around the outside. He's going to have a go here on Rowland.
Right, ISO energy to Rowland. 1% more than these guys around you. ISO energy to Rowland.
So translation is that's usable energy. They've got 1% more than Rowland, and that's going to be in case now, as Dennis is going to go through, and Barnard's going to try and sink it into, I think Rowland might go for attack here, and he does so. So Barnard goes through, Rowland takes attack mode, as does Jean-Eric Verne. So they've taken 6 minutes now. Rowland now taking the fight up. Ed Hunter says that more Jaguar unreliability might go either win or break down. But Degrassi's only climbing up the field, as it says Sean.
It's nice to see Ed. This is the way Ed watches Saudi Arabia, by not watching Saudi Arabia.
I hope
nice to see you, mate. I hope I'm doing you proud in the box.
Trying close to Dennis. Ollie 1% up on energy.
That was Barnard. I have this on in the background listening whilst doing all the stuff.
Oh, good.
Hope you're enjoying it.
Right. So we've now had some of the top guys take all their attack modes. So Jake Dennis is about to run out in about 20 seconds. Ollie Rowland has got 5 minutes left, as does Jean-Eric Verne in 4th place. It's looking like those two might be able to sail off into the distance. Verne will probably be able to get past Barnard on this lap here. We're on board with Verne, but Verne's lifting off. Is Barnard going to go for attack? Yeah. Barnard does, so he will take his 4 minutes that he has left, and Hughesy goes into it as well, as does Tictum.
Yeah, so Barnard only just got it as well. He missed just about the entry line, but he must have clipped the sensors to grab it, and that is unfortunately Mitch Evans out of the race. He's climbing out of the car in the garage. So Jaguar, your heart breaks for them. It is going from bad to worse to just, well, throw the baby out with the bathwater.
the only points they have scored this season is Mitch Evans' win in Sao Paulo, which, when you talk about a team like Jaguar, who are the reigning Constructors champions, who are always fighting at the front, that is just shocking to see.
I'd say championship's already over for them. I know it's a long season, but it's round 4. And let's just hope they come back from the break and have a better run.
We're at a quarter way point through the season after this weekend.
4 of the 16. And they need to really hurry up about it as well in terms of when we go to Miami, which is next up on the calendar in April. And there we go. Roland retaking the lead away from Dennis. So Dennis only led for 2 laps.
And we'll see how with Jev and Taylor Barnard not far behind, if Jake Dennis can hold on to even be in the lower end of the points at this point. Cassidy's dropped to 6th behind Hughes. Hopefully he'll be able to hang on to a point. We can't go to Miami and Cassidy not have a single point on the table.
Okay, we've lost our timing screen at the moment for some reason, so I don't know what's happened there with our OBS software, so we'll hopefully have it back to you shortly. Just information, we've had now the same amount of leaders as we did yesterday in terms of overtakes for the lead. So they've matched in all around it.
Fair enough. Here's Barnard.
Jeff potentially weak, 13.
That's one way to put it. Potentially weak at turn 13.
Yeah. So turn 13 is the long is the long left-hander, which is usually turn 22nd on the Formula 1 circuit.
Oh, Vente.
Here's
Barnard!
Okay, you need to make sure you don't overspend too much on the attack, mate. We're slightly down to all other cars.
Yeah, but Vern's going to have to deal with Barnard who's coming through, and he's going to get a Dennis as well.
Oh!
Brilliant move from Barnard!
Just like Spa 2000!
Inside on both of them, Barnard takes it with superb precision. That was fantastic. Hands down from Barnard. Best move of the season.
That was a veteran move from the rookie. That was incredible. Like Mika and Michael in Spa in 2000. Vern went one way, Barnard went the other, and Barnard was able to overtake them, both him and Dennis, who was the meat in the sandwich there.
Dennis had 2 cars flash by him. He had the Zonta experience. That was brilliant. And now Barnard could actually do this if he could just keep up to Roland. We know Roland suffers with energy. We saw that yesterday. Can Barnard do it to Roland the way Gunther did it to him yesterday? That would be hilariously tragic.
The thing is, they've got the same powertrain, so they've got the same they've got the same equipment underneath them. And Barnard's about to run out of attack mode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whereas Roland has still got 40 seconds left of his.
So that's a lot, and he's got an energy percentage of 1 more as well, so that'll change slightly as Dennis on the back of Tictum. He tried to go on the outside, it wasn't working. And yeah, Vern's passed Hughes. How did that happen? Because Hughes has got extra attack mode than him.
Vern was already in front of Hughes. I think Hughes has just taken his attack mode. No added laps for the race. It's been a fairly clean one, as that's Muller going down the inside, or is that Dennis going
Dennis
down
on the inside Tictum, and Cassidy whacked into Tictum at the exit as well. Tictum didn't know he was there, and Cassidy tried to go around the outside, so yeah.
So we now had everyone take their attack mode.
Yes, I can't see it on the monitor of anybody saying that they still have any left. No added laps, by the way, so
yeah.
Also, no safety car either. This race has been fantastic.
No. Jeddah has been safety carless. There was no stoppages yesterday.
On the outside that's Hughes and Vern. So Hughes on
that's
third.
for a podium.
Who would have said after this morning that Hughes would be on the podium? Oh, and Tictum's down to 8th. Has Tictum taken attack mode? Did Tictum have one? Oh, Barnard jumping. No, Tictum's just lost time. Yeah, Roland's got 1.7 seconds, so Barnard's battling Hughes. Unless Roland needs to back up on pace, which I don't think he does, it might be over.
Yeah, Hughesy will now slipstream Barnard and go straight past. Is it going to be another third place?
Barnard's holding on, though!
For Taylor Barnard?
No, Barnard forced off Hughes! He Verstappened him! Barnard keeps second! How the steward's going to react to that one? Wow!
So Hughes is out of attack mode now. So will he be able to... Barnard's gone wide! Barnard's gone wide! And so it's going to give a little bit of a run to Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes is going to go around the outside. Barnard's looking in his mirror as he goes defensive into the bus stop. Just holds it together. It's the exit here that Barnard's always been so superb with. And he's kept that gap and pace. Thank God for that.
So Roland, we think, has got this in the bag. There is one lap left at the end of this one, but Barnard defends Hughes down into turn 13.
It will be from third in Sao Paulo to second here in Jeddah, but Roland's all on the back to win this one again. But now we've got Hughes battling for second. Is it a British 1, 2, 3? Yes, it is. How about that?
Incredible. We talk about the British 1, 2, 3 in Formula 1 and when that's going to come. Some point soon, but Formula E could beat them to the punch. We've got one lap left.
Roland leads by 3 seconds as Barnard, with only 2% of energy, is desperate to keep Hughes behind. They regen it to 3. Into turn 1, the regen is at 0.93% per braking zone. And Hughes looks to the inside line at turn 4. Barnard's going to defend.
Defending hard.
We briefly saw Roland, who's now 5 seconds up the road. Roland's going to win this one by a country mile. But
only 1% left for the 2, 3 and 4.
Watch out for Cassidy then, maybe even Dennis. They've joined this little fight. And Roland's hit 1% as well. They've still got a couple of corners to go.
They've got half a lap to go here. It takes a little bit longer to get to the line than the F1 F1 circuit. You got 2 chicanes in the middle of it as well.
And look at Dennis! Dennis is going for it! And so is Cassidy! They're launching through! Vern's in there as well! That's going to give Barnard the opportunity to hold on for second! It's the braking zone! Roland's going to win, but who's going to be second and third? Vern gets shuffled out! Roland exits the last corner! Oliver Roland takes the checkered flag and wins here in Saudi Arabia! Battle for second! Taylor Barnard holds off! And they all coasted to the line! Wow!
Kev dropped 2 positions on the run to the line. He goes 7th. Cassidy finally gets some points in 5th. Tickton gets some points down in 9th as well. But Roland is the victor.
Come on! Come on!
Oliver Roland wins!
Domination, baby. What a masterclass, mate.
And it's a British domination, as Ed points out in the chat. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4 for Great Britain.
Wow.
In Formula 1, it was Clark, Hill and Stewart who did it in the 60s, as Ed points out. But Formula E's got 4. Here's
a bit of a surprise, but I think, a bit smart and efficient early on in the pack was able to give me a bumper, and then I could be quite aggressive with my strategy. And yeah, what a job. Big credit to Nissan, so thank you.
We heard you asking the team, are you sure? Are you sure we're up on energy? It's almost like you couldn't believe that the strategy is working so well.
Yeah, of course. Yesterday we had a slight miscommunication with the advantage that Gunther had. So today I wanted to be sure that the information was right, but the team did excellent. So really, really happy.
Well, you extend the championship lead. Congratulations and enjoy the podium.
Thanks, Corinne.
What a race!
That was an incredible race, and Roland and Barnard are going to be well in front of the championship. Who would have thought? We're a quarter way through the season, and Taylor Barnard is second in the championship. Who would have thought that coming into this year? When I was out in Madrid in pre-season testing, a few of us journalists Hey, hang on, here's Barnard.
That's up there nicely. Great job. Well done. That's P2. P2.
Yeah, that's more like it. Go on.
Yeah, in Madrid, a few of us journalists we put some predictions into an envelope, and we're gonna open them in London, all together, and we all had to put 4 somewhat risky predictions for this season, and one of mine was Taylor Barnard gets a podium. He's had 3. He's had 3 in 4 races.
That's
incredible.
Madness. That is insane. 3 podiums in 4. And Dennis is required to the pit lane studio, we've just been told. So, I don't know why.
So he'll be doing some debrief with Karun in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, huge for Nick Casti as well to finally get some points on the board. Yeah, Jev must have run out of power to coast down on the to the line. But yeah, a point for Edo Mortara and Mahindra as well. It's not as good as what they had yesterday, but more points on the board for them.
Let's head over then to the world feed and get all the latest information from that crazy race.
And an all-British podium for the first time ever in Formula E history. 3rd place for Jake Hughes. Huge credit to him as well. New team, new environment.
Oh, let's get that audio sorted out. The blotchiness is not very nice for my ears. Let's get that sorted out now.
And from Norwich.
Should we ramble more?
Superb job from the top 3 finishers then as they make their way into the FIA weighbridge.
I can't tell anymore.
Jake Hughes, I think, will be pretty delighted with that, as will the Maserati MSG team. And Oliver Rowland, well, what can we say about him? Extends his lead in the championship. Also, massive job for Nissan as well in terms of the team's championships. That, I believe, will elevate them ahead of the Neon McLaren team because Bird failed to score, as did Norman Nato. So we should see Nissan elevating themselves up into 3rd in the team's championship after this race as well. Well, Oliver Rowland then needs to take a bit of time to cool down, and I'm not surprised after that one. It was a hard-fought race, but as I said, he made it just look so easy, so controlled and so calm. And this is Taylor Barnard versus Jake Hughes, a moment really which defined the race and kept Barnard in 2nd place. He muscled out his compatriot at the first corner, gave him just enough room as he came back onto the track, and that was the moment which gave him his best finish in Formula E history. Scenes in Saudi Arabia in the Nissan Formula E team garage then, their 2nd win of the year. 1st place for Oliver Rowland in Mexico and 1st place in the 2nd race here in Jeddah. Let's go down and catch up with Oliver Rowland. An amazing job for the boy from Barnsley.
Oliver, I think masterclass is the word there. How you managed to lead more laps, save energy, and then it was a dominant victory in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key was in the beginning. Obviously, I dropped back to 3rd, which I was quite happy with. I could make the most of an efficient slipstream, so I was able to build up a couple of %, and that allowed me to just be more aggressive, break the toe from the others, then use energy to try and catch me back up. It was pretty much the perfect scenario, to be honest.
I was looking at your car when you were getting out. There's some marks of rubbing as racing, I guess, but, you know, this type of racing, you've got to be really disciplined as well.
Yeah, actually, it's a good point. I had a little bit of contact with Gunter in the chicane. He was overly aggressive on the outside, and I got stuck on him. But that's the point when I went to the front, because I said, being 3rd or 4th, people are starting to get aggressive, so I got out of trouble and went to the front and just did my own race.
Early days in this championship, but you've opened that lead and out to 16 points.
Yeah, great. You know, we literally focused race by race. It sounds boring, but yeah, just come here, try and do the best job we can and score the points. I'm sure we'll be there at the end.
Okay, enjoy the celebration.
Enjoy the celebration indeed for Oliver Rowland. Extends his lead in the championship, and this is some action of how he did it. Got through on Taylor Barnard as the driver cycled through. He was never to be seen again from that point onward. Let's catch up with Taylor Barnard, his best finish in Formula E for 2nd.
Taylor, it's been an incredible weekend for you. Didn't manage to convert the pole to the victory, but still, great podium result.
Absolutely. Coming into this weekend, I didn't expect 2 podiums, so to leave here with massive points for the team and for myself, I couldn't be happier right now.
How was it in the thick of it? There were a lot of management there, a lot of changing of positions, people trying to save energy. It seemed that Oliver was able to do a slightly better job than yourself. He had that percent in hand right up until the final attack mode.
Yeah, I think I struggled a little bit for energy in the. Starting from pole, honestly, I struggled from the first 5 laps. I think we took 4 and 4 on attack, and Ollie took 2-6, which is potentially where we lost it. But I can't be disappointed at all. You know, 2 podiums. I'm super happy right now.
Please don't take offense, but in commentary I said you may look like butter wouldn't melt in your mouth, but you got your elbows out with Hughes, and that was absolutely critical to secure second.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you have to be extra aggressive. You have to do that to keep the podium or the P2. I mean, yeah, sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Huge congratulations for Taylor Barnard, his best finish in Formula E. And as DC rightly said there, like butter wouldn't melt, but a very aggressive drive to second place. Let's catch up with Jake Hughes, his first podium for Maserati MSG, an all-British lockout on the rostrum.
Jake, your first podium for your new team. You fought hard to try and make it a second, but in the end, well, Taylor did get his elbows out.
He did. Yeah, he did a very good job, to be fair to him. I felt like he was a little bit on the edge, at least in the one in turn 1. But ignoring that for the moment, I think super happy with today. You know, missing FP3 mostly, getting into the duels in the semi-final and then coming away with my first podium for the team. Couldn't ask for more, really.
Unsurprisingly, there was a little bit of rubbing out there, some very close moments. What was the sort of heart and mouth moment for you during that race?
Probably when I was back in P9, because that really wasn't the plan. But you know, our plan before the race was to really look after the energy. It meant that, you know, for a 5-lap window there, I was looking a little bit on edge in terms of my position in the pack. But we recovered really well with the attack mode. We used the energy when we needed to, and yeah, executed a really good race.
Well, great comeback from that point. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great job from Jake Hughes, his second Formula E career podium, following off of what he got in Shanghai last year for Neon McLaren. Here's a few examples of how he did it. As you say, a few tense moments in the cockpit when he cycled back to the part of the top 10 that he didn't particularly wish to be in, but nonetheless he managed to get his way back through that late attack mode charge, really helping him out. And well, from his point of view, he'll feel he was a bit unlucky with this moment down into that first corner. Saw aggressive defending there from Taylor Barnard. No room for Hughes to carry on the racing line, having to take to the runoff. But nonetheless, I'm sure great respect between those two competitors, and well, either way, it ends up second and third place for Barnard, third for Jake Hughes there. And he'll be pretty pleased with that, I'm sure. His first podium with the Maserati MSG team, a new environment for him. Oliver Rowland there, the race winner, just chatting with his protege. Those two got a good amount of history, because Barnard used to be a member of Oliver Rowland's karting team back in the day, so I'm sure they've had many conversations, but this will be the first where they've finished on the podium together at the same time. Wonderful stuff here in Saudi.
Slow down, Kate.
So the drivers making their way then to the podium. A lot of energy down there in Parc Ferme, DC. Drivers all full of excitement after that one.
Yeah, what a fantastic race. An amazing display from Oliver Rowland.
So then, results from round 4 of the Jeddah EPrix. It's Oliver Rowland who wins ahead of Taylor Barnard and Jake Hughes. British drivers first, second and third on the podium for the first time in history, but Jake Dennis also making it a 1, 2, 3, 4. Nick Cassidy finally gets tally off to a start with 5th place ahead of Stoffel Van Dorn. Jean-Eric Verne, he'll feel a bit disappointed and a missed opportunity. Verline managed to get his way through from the doldrums into 8th place ahead of Dan Tixon. Couple of points on the board for Cooper Kiro ahead of the last point scorer Edo Mortara. Nico Muller just missing out. Sam Bird, we saw some damage on his car in the early stages of the race. He eventually finished in 12th position, and I think Nick de Vries will also be ruining a missed opportunity down there in 13th. We lost a few drivers from that one. Mitch Evans, Antonio Vince da Costa, and also Max Günther failing to make the checkered flag. Da Costa and Günther coming together on the opening lap, denying them a chance of finishing this race, and some points on the board. So drivers' points then. Oliver Rowland extends his lead in the championship to 17 points now over Taylor Barnard, who sits in second in only his third race as a full-time Formula E driver. Antonio Finch da Costa there in third place, now ahead of Max Günther. Jake Hughes up into fifth position, and Jonathan Byrne also making some ground. Evans and Verline moved down a couple of places, and Jake Dennis also getting a good haul of points. He'll be delighted with that, given where Andretti has been this weekend so far. Cassidy finally gets his season off to a start as well. 14th he now sits in the driver's standings after scoring 10 points here this evening. Everybody from Robin Fry's down yet to get off the scoring board here after round 4. Well then, that's the Drivers' Championship here in Saudi Arabia, and it is a quite comfortable margin heading into a bit of an extended break for Formula E before we go to Miami at the beginning of April. 12th of April is when we're going to be racing there. Very excited for a new venue on the Formula E calendar. A chance for some drivers to reset and refocus, and a chance for these to just enjoy that moment of victory and podiums a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think there's not an undeserving person on that podium for various reasons. And no. I think what really stands out is the calm head of Oliver Rowland.
No, superb job from all three podium finishers, and more silverware for Tommaso Volpe to take back to the Nissan team's base as well. I hope he's got room in his suitcase for that.
Melting it down and turning it into currency.
Yeah, Tommaso Volpe, a bit of a race of two halves actually for Nissan. Norman Nato also failing to get points once again in that one, down in 15th position. Let's hope that Nato can turn his season around. Look at the crowd here in Saudi Arabia. They've absolutely loved it this weekend. They've been so welcoming, so wonderful, and what a show we put on for our first time here in Jeddah. Just celebrating with the Formula E team. You can see there Volpe making his way over to the Linktree just to shake their hands before he takes his place in the team's position on the podium. Wonderful job for Tommaso Volpe. Great for Nissan as well, because it will elevate them up to third place.
All right, congratulations.
After 3 weekends of racing
from Maserati
season 11.
Racing is Jake Hughes.
Now Jake Hughes makes his way onto the rostrum for the first time as a Maserati MSG driver. His second podium finish in his Formula E career. Very happy with that one. He'll have been hoping for that second place. And I imagine there'll be a little bit of a grievance about that, but either way, third position for him is a very welcome result for both driver and team here tonight. Now second place for Taylor Barnard. Pole position for him, 3 points after qualifying, and 18 points here in this race. Taylor Barnard then, the youngster from Norwich, makes his way onto the rostrum for the second time in his Formula E career. Great job for the Neon McLaren driver. Maturity beyond his years, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? It's difficult not to smile when you see him sort of, not embarrassingly, getting ready to walk out there on the podium, but I think he's just taking it all in. He is there. He's second in the championship. He is the future.
Yeah, he's held a very high esteem. Good career in the junior Formula E and Formula 2 as well, and now, of course, finding a home here in Formula E. I'm sure his trajectory for the career is going to only go one way. This man's trajectory is also only going one way. Oliver Rowland, what a season he is having for Nissan. He was unlucky to miss out on the title fight in season 10, courtesy of missing Portland due to illness. And, well, he is making amends in season 11. 2 wins in 2 weekends in Formula E here in Saudi Arabia. He won in Mexico, he wins here in Jeddah. And now time then for the national anthem of our winning driver.
Driver from the United Kingdom.
And now for Nissan, We'll hear the national anthem as well of Japan.
Japanese national anthem for the Nissan Formula E team. Our win. And plays out for the Nissan Formula E team here in Saudi Arabia. The second time that outfit has been on the top step of the podium. And now time for the trophies to be presented. Completely different podium, aside from Oliver Rowland compared to what we had yesterday. He's the only man to score 2 podiums in 2 races here this weekend. And you can see what it means for Tommaso Volpe, a crucial cog in that machine.
Really is. And Pico, coming to you, what an amazing achievement for Nissan here at the moment, especially for Ollie Rowland.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1-2 in the Manufacturers' Championship as well, with Taylor finishing second. They are riding a crest of the wave, easy for me to say. But yeah, it looks like that Nissan, they've absolutely nailed it. We know that Ollie, since he's returned to that team, he's sort of been reinvigorated. When he was at Nissan, when he was at Mahindra, whenever I got to speak to him, he never seemed to be fully, like, he always seemed to be a bit down in the doldrums. Like, he wasn't fighting where he wanted to be fighting. He didn't really, he didn't want to fight for points. He wanted to fight for wins. And so he came back to Nissan, and we all thought that'd be like a sort of step across, but they've nailed Gen 3 so far.
Massively,
and we saw him jump in the car last year and be immediately quick, and you'd be hard pressed at this point to not see him fight for the championship all the way down to London.
Anyone know what's going on the podium right now? Because no one's moving at all. That took a while.
Not sure.
That did take a while.
But,
there we go.
He has got a 17-point lead in the championship at the moment
Formula E.
the man over the man to his right, Taylor Barnard, a rookie. This is
what a year.
We haven't seen anything like this before. I think Taylor is the future of Formula E. I think I'm going to say it now. If Taylor wins a race or fights for the championship up until London, Zach Brown better give him an FP1 in Formula 1.
He deserves it 110%. Do you need to run off, or are you all right?
No, I can stick around, do some analysis of some sort.
We'll be handing over to the world feed until the end of their show. Then we'll have 5 minutes of us, and then we'll hopefully hear the press conference, and then we'll wrap up. We've got about another, at least another half hour, but we get to have a little bit of a break at the moment as the international feed's just gone down. So that's great news that the media centre has gone.
I think that means that we have to keep talking, right? Because I'm expecting them to go to a break shortly.
I am too. Hopefully we might get away with it a little bit and have a bit of fun, but yeah. Next up, we will head to Miami on a speedway. It's going to be fantastic.
A NASCAR oval. It's going to be very exciting. One thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing is grid hatchings on a NASCAR oval.
I can't wait.
That's not going to look right.
I can't wait. It's like in our factor when we had it, and you could start on grids. It just doesn't. It never looks right. It looked odd in Puebla. Actually, Puebla looked all right. Puebla looked okay, but no, not Miami. It's gonna be weird. Okay, let's hand it over then to the world feed as we get the latest info.
To Karunno, who's catching up with Jake Dennis in the driver debrief. 4th place it is for Dennis, a British 1, 2, 3, 4 here in Saudi Arabia.
Jake, thanks for coming down to the EPAT. I just want to point out at the start, you're somewhere there.
I can't see the lights.
You started way down in 19th, and in fact, you'd cycled down to dead last because you'd gone for an early attack mode. Let's fast forward to somewhere in the final third of the race now. Lap 23, you are coming up into the pack. You've used the first attack mode, get in the top 10. Talk me about the tactic here now, because you started to come through the last attack mode.
Yeah, so this looks like I'm now in my second attack mode, where we were actually one of the first out of that probably top 8 we were in, partly because we had good energy and I wanted some attack mode offsets to progress forward. It worked perfectly. And then when I got to the front, we created a gap, but then we just kind of had to remind ourselves where we'd come from. You know?
I heard you say it on the radio, actually. I heard you say, you know, just let's remember where we started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I think the guys really wanted me to try and hold my own against these guys when they were coming with attack. But I was like, I've spent a lot to get here now. We need to re-establish and maybe, finish top 5. I think we perfectly executed that race.
Yeah, I think, there was one point where actually Nissan were telling Oliver that you were the only one who was up on energy. I think you were sort of 1% up on everybody else. But you came close, didn't it? Towards the end of the race, we're seeing it unfold. You took the lead at the point where Oliver went straight on. Obviously, you knew there's pain coming, but it came fast. Did you think you'd be able to hang on in front of Barnard and Jake towards the end?
I was hoping to, but ultimately I just didn't quite have the pace when it mattered on 300. We haven't had a quick car all weekend, and when the team asked for me to deliver good pace when I came out of my 350 attack mode, I was just lacking that final 4 or 5 tenths, what we've lacked all weekend.
However, you pulled a blinder, I thought, on the last lap, where you went around the outside of Jean-Eric Verne into turn 13, and then into the final chicane. It all got a bit tight here.
It did get tight. I respect Jev a lot, and we give each other just about enough space. I'm up against the wall there, but just get through. And I was hoping I was get Jake on the exit. He had the power cut, but then mine came about now. Just the wrong time.
What is the power cut?
Where you run out of energy. Basically, we're pushing the limits that much. I ran out of energy 1 corner before the finish. Obviously, a bit of a recharge into that final braking zone means you get energy back into the car, which enables us to finish the race. But yeah, 50 metres too long.
Okay, but listen, last to 4th, you take that.
I will take that after a weekend what we've had, and yeah, we'll take those 12 points.
Okay, well done, mate. Onwards and upwards.
Superb job from Jake Dennis. Then 19th on the grid is where he started, and he ended that race, as he said, in 4th position. An incredible performance for the British driver, equaling his best points finish of the year. He got 4th place in Mexico City earlier on this season as well, for the most recent round before this weekend here in Saudi Arabia. So he'll be pretty pleased with that one, I'm sure. Not as pleased as this man here, though, Oliver Rowland, taking his 2nd win of the year.
And the talking begins.
Woo!
I thought I might actually get away with it, but no, well.
No. Is the stream not working at all then?
The international feed has gone off. However, I've just remembered.
Does this mean that we may not get the press conference later? Or
I'm starting to think if it will come back on. When's the press conference scheduled for? That's the
press conference usually takes place. I think it's about 5 minutes after they go off air, so it should be about 20 minutes time.
Ah, we should be okay. We can fill for this time. Let's talk about the actual race then, because it was absolutely balmy what we saw. Starts off, I think, with Gunther and Da Costa. What was going on with Gunther there? Just came in, all guns blazing, and wiped to the side of him.
Yeah, it was a mad move from Max Gunther, that one, and it's the old saying, you can't win the race at the first corner, but you can lose it. And that's admittedly it was the 4th corner, but it was still the same thing for Max Gunther. I'm not sure whether there was a braking issue there or he just outbraked himself into that corner. But the thing is, it's also something that we saw over the course of the weekend. We saw it in free practice 2 with Van Dorn and De Vries, and that De Vries just went straight into the side of Van Dorn and sent him off. And so I'm not sure whether it was a similar issue to what Van Dorn, De Vries had. But it was disappointing for yesterday's race winner that he survived all of about 4 corners and took out the championship leader coming into this weekend, Antonio Felix da Costa, with him at the same time.
Da Costa scoring no points this weekend. He stays on 39. It is mad to believe that coming in. Let's talk about Lola. De Grassi, strong race from him. Dropped to 16th.
Yeah. So it's also something that I noticed with the Envision guys. So Robin Freins only finished 13th or 14th at the end of the end of the race, and so even though we had the likes of Freins and De Grassi come through the field with attack mode, they still sort of fell back through the field, and there were some who were slightly better at that, like Nick Cassidy, who was able to finish in 5th in the end, which is honestly, I'm sure he'll be relieved about that, to make sure that he has got points on the table. Now we're into this 2-month gap to Miami.
It's exactly 2 months as well. April 13th we're on for that one. It's the Saturday race, maybe April 12th. It's a busy week for us. We cover that as well as a Formula 1 race, I believe. And then we are straight into British touring cars and their opener at Donington Park with their test day. And 2 weeks later, we're back again for the whole action of that as well. So it's never knowingly dull for us. We, however, can stop talking and hand back over to the world feed in about 30 seconds' time. Quick word on Robin Freins and Sebastian Buemi. They dropped down to 14th and 19th in that race. Envision just going backwards mainly in these races.
Yeah, there seems to be the sort of like loss of Cassidy effect. Ever since Cassidy left, they dropped from 1st to 8th in the standings, and the thing is that this year they work very closely with Jaguar, but it has got to the point where we're looking at Jaguar and going, you're the 4th or 5th best powertrain, which is completely shocking. And so I think they're just going to have to persevere for a bit, and their lineup is not as strong as the Jaguar factory team. But yeah, hopefully they'll be able to be there or thereabout, because currently it's not looking quite good.
Let's head down to Nikki then, with Karoon and Katie with the McLaren team
Proud
principals.
dad watching him. I mean, that race was incredible. He didn't get the win, but...
No, it certainly has. The last 10 minutes of that race aged me about 10 years, I reckon. So, yeah, no, phenomenal. And I said to Taylor on the radio afterwards, I like the trend, he's sort of working on at the moment. So let's see what comes in the next races. But a great start to the season for him, and it just shows how comfortable he is in the car as well.
We thought we'd bring the celebrations for you as well.
A few fireworks as well, so 1 or 2.
Can I just ask, what's changed really between last year and this year in terms of the form guide? Because last year we saw Jaguar and Porsche being the benchmark. They were the teams to be. You guys were thereabouts, but consistently they were it. And it's completely turned around. It's the Nissan powertrain cars with Stellantis potentially the ones challenging. What's changed apart from the tyres?
I think always when we see these updates, so that we're in the second phase of the homologation now, it's a chance for everybody to hit the reset button, and it is natural that it sort of mixes the order up. I mean, all credit and kudos to Nissan. They've done a phenomenal job in putting the package together, and it's addressed some of the issues that we had in the first couple of years of Gen 3. And that's giving us now the confidence. I think I've often said that I know that we've got the ingredients within the team to take the fight to anybody here up and down the paddock. We didn't necessarily have the tools at our disposal. Now we've got that. Let's see what we can achieve.
He's led he's been on the podium in 2 very different races here. Obviously, you've got the energy saving mode, and then you've also got the pit boost. What do you look for in a rookie driver? Because obviously it's a very difficult thing to kind of look for in a different series.
It is, and it's nice. We said before about the fact he was our test and development driver, the fact that we've been able to sort of work very closely with him. And I think it's the way that a driver communicates with their engineers, not only here on the track, but actually back at base as well, working together to actually build the car. Both Sam and Taylor are brilliant in that respect. And then when he comes here, I don't know, there's something about with Taylor, with Ollie, these guys are karters, I think, at heart. And there's something about this Gen 3 car that lends itself to that style of driving. And that move that he did to, I think, take the 2 places earlier was phenomenal. So, yeah, all credit to him.
And let's take a little look at some of those moments in the race, because Jake Hughes was on the tail of Taylor Barnard towards the end. It was a really intense battle. He didn't make it easy.
No, you can see, yeah, I mean, clearly you must have told Taylor there was a chance here to hang on because Jake was about to run out of attack mode, right?
It's just phenomenal racing and 2 great drivers. Obviously, Jake's been in the McLaren stable before, and we've known him for many years. He's a really class act as well. So I think to see the 2 of them battling it out like that at the end of the race was pure entertainment, which is great. Again, not for me personally, it was very stressful, but thoroughly enjoyable to watch them. And again, it just goes to show the quality and caliber of the drivers we've got there. I think one of the things in Formula E, especially for a rookie coming in, you can't let the more experienced drivers take advantage of you. And I think Taylor's well and truly made his mark now, and I think that'll stand him in good stead going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ian James, we will say congratulations and wish you well, and we will see you in Miami. Enjoy the celebrations, the fireworks are just for you. Yeah, a very special moment for the McLaren team, but let's talk about the man of the moment, Oliver Rowland. I mean, he was in virtually a different postcode at the end of that race, 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack. He managed to nail the strategy. He nailed his energy management. Unbelievable.
I was just saying to Katie earlier, you know, I'm up in the commentary box. I'm fortunate to have a feed of all the team radio. And he's running that race from the cockpit. He's telling the team the strategy. He's making the calls. He's making the decisions. He's asking them for information of what the other people are doing. But he's making the executive decisions of how to run the race. And when I listen to the other drivers, nobody else does that. Nobody else does it with the clarity of thought that Rowland does. And to me, that just puts him a cut above everyone else at the moment. As a tactical driver, he is the best on the grid for me, no doubt about it.
I think also when you look at him compared to his teammate and how much energy he had compared to his teammate, obviously similar car, same powertrain. I think there was one point where it was 4 or 5% different before attack mode was used there. So it just shows how efficient he really is able to be.
Which is more than a lap.
It's
nearly a lap and a half.
DC, would you agree with what Karun and Katie are both saying, that really, you know, he's our driver of the day?
Yeah, he just sensed all weekend the disappointment from yesterday, the ownership for today. Very difficult to disagree with anything they've said, and just to further endorse, he may have been around for a little while, but it seems that he's just found his sweet spot right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was excitement, obviously, in the Nissan garage. There was also excitement on one side of the Jaguar TCS garage with Nick Cassidy, and Saunders caught up with him earlier.
Nick Cassidy, you gave the fans what you gave them so many times in the past few seasons. What a drive. Is it P15 to 7th? No, P17 to 5th, rather.
Yeah, I don't know what position I started.
Just loads.
Yeah, I was at the back. I know that. Yeah, I mean, finally we get our season started. I mean, it's no secret that we're really struggling with car speed. I don't know how the other Jaguars were in the race, but we've been struggling, man. And I think we just executed well, really well. The team did a great job, and so it was a nice race from that point of view.
Tell me what a result like today does to your mentality after the kind of the unluckiness and the disappointment you've had so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I didn't have a good result today, I would say it's not an issue. I'm fine, but honestly, I just feel a big relief because, you know, we're fighting at the front for the win in Sao Paulo and Mexico. We were good in quali and we got DQ'd, and then we come here and we just weren't competitive at all. So I just thought, like, you know, what have I done to have a season start like this? But at least now it's started. We have a break. We can go away, work on some things, and try to keep some momentum going.
It was a great drive today. Well done, Nick.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to Nick Cassidy and the team there. Karun, I've got a question for you, because there is the technical director that has moved. He was at Jaguar TCS Racing, very experienced Phil Charles, but he has left the team recently and moved to DS Penske. Now, could that be related to the change in fortunes and the change of performance that we're seeing from the team?
Listen, ultimately, race teams and race cars are only as good as the people who build them and operate them, and that could be drivers, it could be the engineers and people like that. There's no doubt about it. You know, Phil Charles comes with a whole heap of experience. I met him 20 years ago when he was competing against DC as part of the Renault F1 team. You know, he's been in big World Championship winning operations at Jaguar, but before that in F1 as well. So he comes with a lot of good knowledge and experience. He's gone into that team. He's ruffled some feathers. You know, they changed the entire technical structure of the team. Some people left, other people came in, but he's had an impact. You know, Gunther yesterday was absolutely dominant. He made a silly error today into turn 4, has to be said, but the car looks quick, and conversely, Jag have gone backwards. So I'm sure if you ask him or his agent, I don't know if he has one, they'd probably say that he's the common denominator.
Well, he might need an agent now, that's for sure. Thanks for explaining that to us. Now, we have a bit of a wait, but 8 weeks is now the countdown until our next race in Miami. We cannot wait. April the 12th. Check it out.
Welcome to Miami. Miami. Miami.
Lights out and we're underway. Very frantic and very scrappy out there. Oh, contact there between them.
Formula E is
racing on the edge. Getting a bit close for comfort. You're in the proper race now. Let's go. Oh, more contact. Anybody could win this race.
Formula E, Miami.
Well, we cannot wait to welcome Miami back to the Formula E Championship. Commiserations, though, for a couple of the drivers. Max Günther basically pretty much T-boned Antonio Felix da Costa, ruining the race for both of them. DC, what happened?
Well, in the interest of the little bet we did out in the grid, I think da Costa turned in on him. So that null and voids that?
No, that definitely doesn't. All the rules is where did they finish?
Okay.
And I think they were both out of the race.
Yeah, I think coming back to what Karun said, I think that Max just had an out-of-body experience, way too optimistic, and he'll be absolutely beating himself up for the next 8 weeks.
Let's take a look at that moment.
Yeah, it's just the lunge. You look at him on board. Everyone stops, and it's just like, it's almost like he forgot how quickly the corner comes up, isn't it? He's going 20 miles an hour quicker than anybody else.
Start red mist.
Yeah. Maybe he's just used to having that clear air from leading yesterday in front of him.
So our race picks, just as a reminder, you had Roland.
Hi, Roland.
You had Barnard.
Taylor, yeah.
Okay, so you guys are out. I mean, we could go halves on dinner.
I would say da Costa made it to the pits before Gunther.
Okay.
Look, that says something.
I don't think that's in my favour, though, is it?
I've saved up my pocket money. I'll buy you all dinner.
Thanks, David.
That's why we love working with David Coulthard. Brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. Well, it's been an absolutely cracking double-header weekend here in Jeddah. Join us in Miami. It's going to be a good one. See you then.
Nice turn from the team, and we're getting all set now for the... That's not good. We're getting all set then, ready to go. Thanks to the team over there. We're getting set for the press conference coming up shortly. Yes, I've got it all ready just to fly over and send it over to Ed and the team at Formula E Zone as well for upload after. So then, Jack, what did you make of it? What did you make of all that racing? What are you thinking and thoughts going into Miami? By the way, if it starts, you're going to have to shut up immediately. Go on.
Don't worry. What a weekend we've had. I think the introduction of Pit Boost was absolutely fantastic to see. I'm really intrigued to see how that continues going forward. Obviously, we won't have it in Miami, but it'll be back for Monaco, and we'll be at every single round for the rest of the year, apart from Jakarta. Let's go to the press conference.
Let's go to the press conference.
Well, welcome to the post-race press conference here in Jeddah after round 4 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please welcome third-place driver on the left, Jake Hughes from Maserati MSG Racing. A second time on the podium this weekend on the right for Taylor Barnard, and also making his second podium appearance. Driver Oliver Rowland, an all-British podium. That's what I like to see. Another win, 17 points. For the championship right now. Yes, it was a good game. In the last, but I think today we executed in a good way. We didn't quite
have as much as Taylor, who did a great job and a great. But yeah, in the race we stayed calm. Honestly, going into the race, I was pretty content even to be in the top 5, not knowing how the race would go. But I was able to I was in a fortunate position in the beginning where I could kind of be efficient, not be under too much pressure, and manage to build a bit of energy. But yeah, feeling really, really good, really happy with the car, with the clearly we're in a good place at the moment. So yeah, just trying to enjoy it and make the most of it.
We heard you talking about the energy on your team radio. How confident were you with the strategy after yesterday and what happened?
I always have like flashbacks of Misano, then flashbacks of Sao Paulo, and then a little bit yesterday. So there's always a moment where I'm doubting what's going on. But yeah, it was clear that the energy advantage was quite early on.
Oh, it was going so
He was doing
well.
and yeah, thankfully it worked.
And also nice that he could celebrate you with you this time around. Nice that he could celebrate with you at the track this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, both race engineer and performance engineer, they work extremely hard. So big credit to them. Yeah, he wasn't able to be there next appendix, so nice for him to be here today.
How different did this race feel to yesterday? Obviously, there was a lot of talk about Bruce being gone into the next doubleheader. This is a different style of race.
Yeah, it was completely different. We knew it, right? The energy was much lower than yesterday. We knew it was going to be that stacked peloton type of race where you can have contact, you can be unfortunate, you can pick up punches, you can get damage. You kind of just have to stay out of trouble. I think they're two different kind of races. I have to watch them back because I only saw them from my perspective. So I don't know what the general feeling is, whether people prefer yesterday or today, but they're definitely a different spectacle. But both are really enjoyable. Maybe today's one less so if you come out with us. But yeah, I think it's something that we have to get a feel for and see which works.
Well, congratulations, Oliver Poland there. First place with the Nissan Formula E team. Taylor Barnard with Neil McLaren. We're back here on the podium again. You're used to being on the podium. A double here in Jeddah. You also have another trophy from your position as well. Lots to take home on the plane. How are you feeling right now?
Absolutely amazing coming this weekend. I didn't expect to take home trophies and I had a lot of points. You know, if I was much better, honestly, the team have done a great job, given me a great car, and I've managed to execute.
We saw Maximilian win from pole position yesterday, the first 17 races in Formula E that's happened. When you do what you did yesterday from pole, you're on pole today. Do you feel that maybe that something else happened that you the same kind of result today?
I'm not really, to be honest. Like, today was such a different race compared to yesterday. We have to recover and generate 10% more yesterday, so I knew to keep the lead race was going to be almost impossible. At some point I had to go back and try and energy compared to someone else. I could do it just hold on a second. But look, I can still be happy.
You've got trophies, a pole position trophy, you've now got a second trophy. I'm going to ask you now, how far away is that first win?
Not far away. I'm full of colours at the moment. No, that's definitely hard. When the car can do it, I'll definitely do the best. But I think the focus for myself at the moment is just scoring those big points, just for myself and for the team, and it would be fun.
The powertrain has shown itself as being very strong and leading powertrain, I would say, so far this season. That must be very, very reassuring for you. Where do you see McLaren pecking order of teams this early in the season?
Behind, so it's quite clear that the powertrain is very strong. For sure, there will be our weaknesses, there will be weekends that will also be strong, but the races will be strong. We have to capitalise on the points, and we just have to do the best we can. And at the moment, it seems like we're doing that.
Congratulations again. Good luck with that extra baggage charge with all the trophies you're taking home. Taylor Barnard from Neil McLaren as we move on to Jake Hughes with Maserati MSG Racing. Your first podium for the team. Must be feeling great.
Yeah, very good. Strong weekend, you know, fifth and good points on the board. I think, to be honest, since I stepped out of the car on lap 3 in Brazil, I think we've done a pretty good job, especially in the races. But yeah, really happy to get my first podium today. I think we managed a really good race. We basically executed the race we wanted to beforehand. So yeah, kudos to everyone. I think especially Ollie today was too good. I think we were good to be Taylor.
As well as we look at it across the two races, that must be encouraging so early in your relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, apart from Max today, we've basically had all the Lancia cars and points in the last few races. So along with the Nissan boys, I think, yeah, we're looking good. Probably more so than probably expected, I think it's fair to say. So to get these points on the board now, hopefully we can have a strong second half, but a strong rest of the season as well.
You mentioned some aggressive thing on your TV interview. I know you got out of the car. Now that sort of dust has settled slightly, you want to maybe reflect on that?
Look, I mean, fair play to Taylor. He did everything he needed to do. Out of the car, we do the same, to be honest. But yeah, in the end.
And finally, obviously, in an all-British podium, the first time in Formula E, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, representing, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think Jake was fourth as well, so top four. Don't know where Sam was, but yeah, Dan, I think, was driving a good race as well. So yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Excellent stuff. Congratulations. We'll open it up to questions if you'd like to raise your hand. We're going to see if we can ask. Has anyone got a question that hasn't asked a question this weekend before? No. Okay, we'll go with the gentleman at the front first.
Congratulations on Q1. What an incredible drive it was. Can you tell us what has changed from last night's team strategy that led to pole position?
Great. Second.
Can you tell us what has changed from last night's team strategy that led to pole position?
Like we spoke about yesterday, it's quite a lot different in terms of energy consumption, but for sure today I never let myself kind of overconsume, put my target down. I was pretty disciplined with that, and I think just overall communication was much better between the team and me to understand where I was in the race. So I honestly think it just came down to communication. Yesterday my engineer's radio was really poor, so I could only hear like 40% of what he was saying during the but today it was much clearer, and he was much more direct and clear with his feedback.
Nick Oldham from Racing News 365. Dave, you of course mentioned British 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at you three, all different ages, different stages of your career as well. What do you think this shows about, you know, British motorsports at the moment?
I mean, you know, motorsport is famous in the UK. You know, you don't other teams here in Formula E are based there. Other teams in F1 are based there. A lot of the talent in not being in staff, where you learn to drive and where engineers learn to work and teach drivers, is a lot of it's based in the UK. So we're very blessed with that. We keep, you know, turning out. I guess, you know, Sam's some in late 30s, we're mid 30s. Taylor's like a child. So, I mean, he's basically out of diapers, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh, and they've switched it off. We
dear.
tried to bring you as best we could, and we deeply apologise. I suppose, Jack, that's Saudi internet for you.
Yeah, it's been playing up all weekend, unfortunately, and alas, this is what happened. But yeah, a little downer on a very fun weekend, I think, this weekend.
All right, well, that's not worked either. So give us your final thoughts, and we'll stay on the oval cam, and then we'll sign off.
Right. Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic. I think it's been a fantastic weekend. It's been so interesting to see Pit Boost actually work in an EPrix. Taylor Barnard has been phenomenal this weekend, and the fact that we're leaving here with him second in the championship, 3 out of 4 podiums is amazing. But Ollie Rowland is just a man on a mission this year, and even though the people say Porsche have the better powertrain, have the better prospects, they've got to fight Ollie hard for this championship, because Ollie wants this. 2 wins so far, a he could have won in Sao Paulo as well, but it didn't happen in the end. He wants this championship this year.
Jack, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in the commentary box this weekend. I would like to remind everybody to tune in to the FE Bar tomorrow at 8 p.m. GMT.
Not tomorrow.
Oh, it's not tomorrow.
2 days because it's Saturday.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
Saturday
of course it
today.
is, yeah. Right,
Yeah.
on Monday then. I'll say on Monday at 8 p.m. GMT. Jack Giamano, Jack Pickering, you will be there. Ed will be on the phone lines, and I'll try and make an appearance as well and say hello as well. Get your voice heard and get your questions in on the FE Zone as well. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. My thanks to you, Jack. My thanks to Jess as well and to JT earlier on. It's been fun. And now Formula E goes on a 2-month break. But when we return, we'll be stateside at a brand new venue, but an old territory. Back in Miami, this time at a circuit that won't have to be built up in 15 minutes. We're at the Miami Super Speedway. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.